just fizzling out of existence and then fizzling back into existence like every few seconds.
That's tough. Yeesh. Might be also some VSync settings, so definitely things.
No, I know what it is. What it's not even on my end. It's literally Square Enix's fault.
Gotcha.
Ever since they updated the graphics engine for Final Fantasy XIV, there have been a slew of bug reports coming in, especially from people with better NVIDIA graphics cards.
Gotcha. That's interesting. They clearly did not prepare for such. Shame. Okay, I didn't say I was going to do this, but I restarted the server to test Iz's request from last week because I forgot I disabled it all and I hadn't tested today because of the meeting. So we're going to see if he breaks it right away. If not, we'll be able to revert it at the end. While we're waiting for this, I shall provide you guys some insight on the cruise that's coming up. It is a 12-man team going to represent Hasbro, Wizards of the Coast, Adventure League, and the 2024 rule set. It is going to be quite intriguing and interesting considering our tables are not going to be nice, round, and large with all the space we need. They're going to be goofy, odd tables. We have the upper deck of the cruise ship. We have been honored in our agreement, internet access for at least a device per cabin in which we can easily transfer back and forth as needed. And I'm curious on what every DM is going to bring to the table. We discussed Theater of the Mind play is absolutely acceptable, but that's like lacking when people are paying like thousands of dollars for this nerd cruise. You know what I mean? Like some of them are like, I'm not going to bring maps. And I'm like, then why are we making them? Like I've been assigned to make them for the Adventure League written modules for the DMs Guild. And I'm like making them all badass. And I'm like, wait, some of these guys might not, almost none of them might use them. So I definitely have to bring some badass foldable maps to whip out for the players and what have you. But I'm going to show you guys some content later down the line this week that I will be, like I'm gonna give you guys insider privilege to some of the modules and stuff that aren't released that are being designed and made just for this cruise at the time. And I would definitely prefer some feedback on suggestions. I don't know if any of you guys have cruise experience. I don't. So I would definitely recommend, or I'd be willing to hear any and all suggestions and advice on, carry-ons, what have you, what may be. So if you guys hear me asking random questions and what have you, definitely jump in if you have any insight or further information, because this is all new grounds to me. And I will be solo in the sense that these are strangers I met at Comic-Con. I have never worked with them beyond that how long was Comic-Con? 5 days? 5 days. So it'll be interesting to then again work with now the elite group of the 140 of us that were at Comic-Con. Only 12 of us will be attending this. So that will be interesting too.
I'm pretty sure it's been more than 40 seconds.
Yeah, no, it broke. It is. That won't work. Sorry. We're going to keep that disabled.
I didn't even have to load in to break it.
So
congratulations.
Truly, the best.
It's interesting that is what's breaking just the world. I might have to make a copy of it. I think so, because that's the only thing I activated. And obviously we didn't have any issues prior, but we're going to see right now. I'm going to go in first before any of you guys do. And if it freezes up because I try to move your character again, then we know that it just won't work. But you won't have the drag ruler. However, the hover distance should work. So if you guys click on your tokens and then hover over the others, you should know the exact distance you are from them at the very least. So keep that in mind. Otherwise, a quick general recap. You guys discovered robots. Not in that term, as you guys believe them to be constructs of every light of day understanding. Though it has come clear that they are, one can say, respondent to a hive mind or a singular device that is not just observing, but in contract with communicating with you all. These machines have also been able to identify each of you for the most part and classify whom you are and where it is you originate from. What this means is yet to be revealed, but keep that in mind. That was something that was brought up and mentioned in maybe a subtle way, but I am now clarifying currently. Is there any immediate questions on all the craziness that was going on in the previous week that you guys want to address at this time? Or clarities? You're a glutton for mystery. Totally fine.
I feel like we've got a solid grasp on the situation. It's mostly that we're going to be looking for the manual, which will give us more information.
Correct.
And possibly a corpse of whatever was here, because I don't know. If there was one skeleton person
There is a
to run everything.
body in cryo, we'll say, that is the only physical body that has been preserved and found via the notes that you guys discovered in the Technomage lab from the Netherese. You guys have not yet found that individual, though where you guys are currently standing is a similar sense of instruments that are showing, I described it, I believe, like a global sense of something, though it is not in a physical form. It is more like in parts, or like it's not necessarily arms and legs floating around willy-nilly waiting to be connected like Frankenstein, but there is some way that they are preserving different things and entities within these containers that they seem to be caring about monitoring for whatever purposes rendered for the beings that are here, the Ansari. Reminder, the gas is non-lethal to you guys on this floor, though the further you guys go in, it will become a hindrance. It will be declared and mentioned to you guys every single time it changes, to keep it fair for you guys and to not be like, oh yeah, this whole time you've been suffocating and not being announced. So I do want to make that known for the time being. And I think that's it. In the immediate moment, you guys do understand that the direction in which this location is going down. I wouldn't necessarily say that it's like just because, it's imagine like a crashed vessel that seems to be in its own balance while you're in it, though it is not, flushed. It's not like a tower in any way. It is crashed at an angle, though you guys have not picked up on such through normal descriptors. But to keep that understanding, it is you will be heading lower, I guess, in any retrospect.
It appears Foundry crashed again.
Yeah, I know. I did it on purpose because of his thing. So now it should be reloading and should be fine to jump in just a second. It's at 429.79, 100% for that one. Loading package data 44. I'll give you the all clear in just a second once it's done migrating. And now that we know that it's definitely is his request, I'm gonna have to troubleshoot what's different on your guys's compared to the others, because the Mondays was absolutely functioning and no one had issues, and they have potato computers, so it was shocking that they had no issues. But worst case, I'll just copy the world and not carry over any of the super old content in which we may never go back to visit. You guys should be clear to log in now.
Still loading in for me.
Refresh if you previously weren't, because I restarted the server as guest unstated. That's why you guys aren't seeing anything currently. I just literally relogged in myself.
Oh, okay. Sorry. My bad. Oh, I just full screened. How do I?
F11 or F12. Usually F11. Or escape, yeah, sorry. That's always the
F11
easiest
worked,
method.
but escape did not for some reason. I'm so confused at my keyboard.
Oh, by the way, if you guys have been running Windows 11 updates, you might want to re-uninstall Copilot.
Yeah, I was going to do that every time.
I'm still on Windows 10. I refuse.
My computer
Yeah,
force updated to 11.
Hey, didn't they do end of life support announcements already for 10?
Yep.
Yeah.
Just came out last month.
Like at the end of the year.
Yeah. I mean, overall, it's always end of life. I mean, they can't keep anything operating.
They can't even keep their modern tech we're running right, let alone previous models.
I mean, Windows 10 end of life is end of the year. That being said, end of life for everything is for everything that's like 32-bit is like 2038 at this point.
Well, Windows 10
Considering-
itself is not 32-bit.
But there's
True.
a lot of 32-bit assets in Windows 10.
Yeah, but they're kind of subsidiary now. They're theirs. What is it? Compatibility.
What I'm referencing is we apparently have another Y2K bug on the horizon in 2038.
Y2K. You should be fine. They moved from what 8 to 16-bit. Well, 32 technically.
Yes. Well, here's the thing. We are currently fine right now with Windows, so long as you don't open Windows with Windows 11. So long as you don't open Windows Media Player,
Oh,
because
who uses
apparently
that
that's
nowadays?
the only asset within Windows 11 that is affected is the legacy version of Windows Media Player.
Probably
Well,
all the
then that's-
codexes that are non-redundant. Surprisingly, someone tried to move your character. The drag rule is working and it's disabled, so there must be a new mod that took it over. Do you see anything like that, or am I the only one that's somehow seeing it?
I'm moving around just fine.
No, but do you see like the distance in which you're moving?
No.
Oh no, it does not show me that.
Yeah, it was the
Really?
same way last
See,
time.
If
I see the
If I
distance
click-
that phone is moving.
if I
Yeah.
click
I can
on
see
measure
his
distance, if I click on measure distance, then my character, I can measure it out and then press spacebar.
That is a trip.
Oh,
I
really?
am literally on your guys' tokens and dragging you all around, and it's 100% updating everything, even like the distance of the enemy of your allies as I drag them and not even place them on the ground.
I can see
Yeah.
everyone else's drag marks, just not one from me.
Yeah,
I
no,
clipped
no,
into the
no.
wall.
Like what Gaston is saying though, if you just move with the measure token and then hit space, it moves you.
That is
That-
working.
That's pretty rad. I didn't know it could do that, and I'm gonna be using that to move from now on.
It's how I have been using it for this whole entire time.
Well, congratulations
for
on
letting me know.
discovering something. Yeah, a lot of us weren't aware of. I didn't even know that. But for some reason, it's working for me, so I apologize that it's not functioning for you
Maybe
guys.
it's on our end if we have to like adjust a game setting.
I don't think so, because I mean, I disabled it ironically, and yet when I drag you guys, it's giving me all the juice. Let me see if I take a screenshot just to share. Mm.
Anyways,
Oh yeah, no, it's tactical grid. Display distance on ruler drag, and you have to select it. So if you go into configure game settings, type drag into the search bar, it'll pop up tactical grid, and now it should work for you once you click save.
shit.
is this everyone?
At this rate, it sounds like you guys each need to go in there and do it manually, which is shocking because normally my settings override you guys.
You
But
can
good to know.
also trigger something that'll show you how far everyone else is away from you, but depending on where you move, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's what I see. So when I move Shio around without letting them go, it's updating how far all of your visual entities are. Like down here, it's like 40 feet, 45 feet, 55 feet. You know, it's kind of neat.
Oh yeah,
But-
that is pretty cool.
But check that setting real quick, guys, because it is. I mean, it's hugely beneficial for you guys to understand distances
Okay.
when there's never any distances on the map.
What setting?
So you go into configure settings and then type in DRAG, and it should pull up tactical grid. And I just selected both the boxes that are under that category.
And that worked for me. Now I have the power.
Now we know exactly how far away from the things we want to stay very far away are.
Yeah, nice. Oh, I have to have a override button for you guys if I want it. I don't know. I'm not gonna fuck with it now. You guys do it on your own. But
Yeah, that's
I do
awesome.
I do have a broadcasting override to make sure all player clients can see it, and I didn't realize that. Whoops. But yes, if you guys set it up on your own and it's working, beautiful, because that should help you guys a ton. And I know that's what Iz was referring to because it's something he was so used to before to figure things out. So there we go. We figured it out.
All my all my abilities are distance based, so
Yeah. All right. So with that, We are back here in the Ansari ship, vessel, machine, device, massive, unknown underground artifact, whatever it is you wish to declare it is. You guys have accepted a peace with the Ansari sentries at this time. You have not aggravated them. You guys have, I think it was identify, as they stated. You guys have identified yourselves with them, keeping that peace. Seg, you have paid souls to get to level 2 of your skill set, so congratulations on that. And we don't have a wep, so we will continue until he arrives. Your gold dragon spirit is there a time limit on its existence, or just as long as it doesn't die?
I think it's like an hour. Let me double check.
I'll allow it to stand for the next part of the session, and I'll let you know if there's
been
any
an hour
reason.
in game already?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, it has not necessarily been an hour. I'd say
Okay.
it'd be like 20, 25 minutes of you guys' initial incursion with the excuse me, the unknown species. That was fun for you guys to play and cuddle with. Within these rooms, you guys do see or within this particular room, you guys see a kind of alarm like light sirening off in red. This seems to give off a sense that something has been triggered within the ship. I cannot say whether or not it's your guys' arrival or if it's something that triggered long ago and has just been in a constant active state. But I would point that out as an interest. There are 2 sentries currently present. You guys do know you'd have to go deeper, and at this time, there is plenty up here in which you guys have yet to actually discover. So I will leave that to you all now to decide on what you do. The map is not paused. You are free to move. There are no immediate enemies to the immediate knowledge. Any sentries you come across are not considered hostile unless you do something that changes that factor.
I think we should move as a group because there is still a hostile around here somewhere, at least one. And then I kind of want to see where those drag marks to that giant furnace go, if you guys are interested in that too.
Oh, I turned to the automata. What's the name of the ship?
Good
The
question.
ship in which you are aboard is referred to the Ansari 12.
Oh, Netherese are not good at naming ships.
No, remember, they're not Nethereses. They're an aliens that the Netherese found.
What?
This is true.
Hey guys, it's that number again.
Ansari 12.
Would
Well,
you
you know
like
how
to know more?
Would you like to know
Do you-
more? Yes.
Do you know why it's called the 12?
There were originally 12 founders that had arrived. 11 of such departed after we had arrived. It's like as it states that it's as if it's using the word arrive to substitute what really occurred upon arrival. As it continues, these 11 of 12 founders made contact very rapidly and established themselves beyond our existence here. Since I have not seen any of the original 11 return, we have been harboring and taking care of all species and life forms that have unfortunately broken out and contaminated the vessel. For reasons of abandonment or unknown, it has been currently logged 4,312 days without the 11 founders.
Under Gaston's almost a whisper, Gaston utters, and the only survivor was the traveler.
Only 11 years. I mean, that's barely an inconvenience.
For our systems will infinitely run, we are not concerned with the time in which it must take for them to return, for we have failed our containment protocol and have since been doing what is plausible in our state. Our central mind has established new protocols, rapidly changing daily based on our conditions here within. Anything that has escaped has gone beyond our capabilities of tracking and or keeping logs of. I apologize for any instances in which anything that had left has harmed or destroyed any civilizations beyond our landing and arrival.
I have...
Go on.
2 questions for you, friend. The first
I
question.
am incapable of establishing friendships, as I am always to be indifferent in any and all protocols for our safety.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. My first question is, do you know how we can turn off the deadly gas that's permeating the ship?
3 canisters have been disrupted in which produce what was once the algae life contamination for species in which were found on a very gaseous located plane. However, since those species have broken through, it has been very tough. However, I can tell you that the specific species in which has currently taken control of that gaseous the contaminated area is referred to as a frog moth.
Interesting. And my second question is, what were the names of the 11 who left the ship?
You have already established 1. The rest were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The 12th, however, does have a ID beyond their numerical digit, and that is the lore.
Ooh, the lore. Okay. Does anyone else have any questions for these Sky? I mean, I guess we could always come back if we come up with questions as we explore.
All of our functions interact with each other, for if you need to speak to another, you must not need find me specifically. Speaking to any Ansari sentry will be able to communicate such information to you.
Are any of your sentries going rogue?
Access denied.
Quick, you're an adult. He'll answer you.
Are there any malfunctioning servitors?
Yes, we currently have over a dozen roaming the ship, though the identification of such is hard to tell considering that we do not have any installed state that changes any kind of color and or sequence in our behavior, for they could act like me, or I could be one and not truly know until I trigger.
Ooh, sleeper agents.
What is a sleeper? When the machines do not stop.
I pat him on the head.
No identifying markers on a unit? That seems like bad design.
What do
We
you
were
mean?
not originally designed to be identified for any specific means, for we were created by the central mind after the 11 had departed the ship. We were not originally the caretakers of such vessel. We came into existence afterwards through a machine in which only produces a single type, and in that type there has been hiccups.
The Raven always talks about something about making millions of machines at the same time. But,
And if we speak to you, are we also speaking to this single mind, or do we have to go somewhere specifically to speak to them?
The single mind is currently observing all of your actions and communication protocols at this time. When they wish and when they will is unknown to me of contact, but we can all project their voice when necessary.
Good to know. And if these rogue servitors attack us, are we permitted to decommission them?
Suggested feedback to your request is uncertain, for some may not truly be rogue, but attempting to protect an asset on the vessel that they have been entitled to do so with. I suggest you provide caution in your journey and discoveries of what it is that we currently hold within such.
Got it. So even if one attacks us, guys, let's not attack them, because it might turn them all against us.
It is
Wow.
suggested to use your typical reasoning in what your race has currently come down to terms of negotiation or understanding of one's purpose. Though if you go to violence first, it could be confusing for us, and we may decipher it incorrectly.
Okay, negotiation first, shooting later. We'll have to be on our best behavior, guys.
maybe we should wear a sign that says, "Talk to me before shooting us."
Normally I'd think that wouldn't work, but with these guys who are pretty straightforward, it might.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I have enough.
Do you have guest passes or something that identify us as verified?
Yeah.
To acquire a ID in which we can recognize, you must accept having a non-evasive surgical chip applied to your individual.
Hmm.
That,
Sounds
I'm
dangerous.
down. Surgery me up, Doc.
You must head to our third balcony, in which is not immediately accessible through here. You would have to head south through the first junction, and then arrive at a research development location in which the hive mind could assist you further.
Ah, damn.
Good to know. Any other questions, guys?
Do you guys have an off button?
Access denied.
So yes.
I mean, everything probably has an off button is.
Hmm.
I bet you set one up for yourself and then chose to forget about it.
That's not likely. I don't like my creations having weak spots.
That's fair, but what if you thought you had to take yourself down in the future?
More firepower.
But you're in the past, so you don't have as much firepower as them.
I have all the time to build more.
So do they.
Then it's a time war.
It is a time war. Do you really want to do this again?
This isn't a theoretical. We're doing this right now.
I mean, I'm winning the one we're in.
Could we please not? I don't have a very good experience with time bullshit.
I mean, it works most of the time.
I hate to break it to you, man. This is that's all this is. Time bullshit.
Time space bullshit.
Almost timey-wimey bullshit.
No, specifically entities which claim to police time.
Oh, I ignore those guys.
Oh, I think we're outside of their jurisdiction.
The robot interrupts. Excuse me, you had mentioned policing. We have known of a single entity to do such, though they go under the title of Arbiter, but they have been tied to another species in which we have only once encountered with the Asari 12, known as the Four.
Oh, the Four.
Are they like the local Time Lords? I don't.
No, remember, the Four are the ones that created the building blocks of reality and then decided to fade away?
Oh, that's right, those guys.
Yeah. Are you able to identify a four by looking at them?
The Four has no signature markers in which the Ansari have been able to acquire, for when we attempted to acquisition our encounter with them, we were swiftly denied in the most politest way to describe our encounter.
Disintegrated?
Probably lost the other 11 ships.
Yeah.
The historical reference beyond the Ansari 12 is beyond me, as I have only been created to take care of this particular vessel in which we stand, and our historical markers have been scrubbed and kept within the single hive. You must reach them to learn more, if that is something you seek.
So, in order to learn more about the history of the ship and its people, we need to find the hive mind.
That is correct. They do have a term in which they like to be referred to, Otto.
Otto.
Ooh,
Got
knowledge. The ambush is now baited. Well, should we go learn?
Yeah, I say we check out that forge area real quick, and then
then
we
pick up
explore
a
the rest
path.
of the floor. Yeah.
Or we'll get one person a pass, and he can just be out in front.
Yeah, I don't know if I want unknown tech shoved into me.
Yeah, he can just cut his arm off and it'll grow back. The rest of us, not so lucky.
Yeah, we could just cast a disintegrate spell on him, and he'll crawl out of his phylactery a couple days later. It'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Pain is meaningless.
You
don't
still feel
feel it.
pain? I'm about to say, if you did, we'll have to redo the procedure.
No, I don't get anything from pain. I get no stimuli whatsoever.
Oh, okay, that didn't work.
Lame.
That's why he's so reckless, is he doesn't care if he gets stabbed 157 times, as long as he gets to stab 158.
He used to get stabbed a lot more before he became a lich.
Yeah, but he was also a vampire, and I don't think they feel pain either.
Sure. Alright, so lead the way, Mr. Indestructible.
Wait, I don't know where I'm going. What?
I'm gonna head down to that forge.
I really like the portrait thing.
I still want to go find that thing.
And Razzle?
Razzle it. Yeah,
Did we see which way it ran off?
kinda. That's alright. We can go wrestle it later if my buddy wants to.
So, are these drag marks or are these, like, tire marks?
See, that's what I'm wondering, because this is a metal floor, and I don't know if drag marks would be enough. It has to, like, stab itself in.
Looks like a Is that a forge?
That's what I was thinking. I think this is a medical room over here, guys. Is there, like, papers on the desk that I can try to identify what this room was?
I would also like to try to identify this shit on the desk.
You are muted if that matters, DM.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know how that happened. My bad. That would explain a lot. Yeah, so as you guys enter into this room, you see another siren light, matching that in the previous room, not of any immediate concern. You see multiple plants that seem more native to your guys' home. It's as if they had been researching your guys' land. However, one thing before the table that pops out to, I'd say, is in Seg. Give me a medicine check.
Do I have medicine? I forget. It's been a while.
You're a drug dealer, you're a pharmacist. Of course you have a medical degree.
Nice. What is Toaster Kicks? Well, as we'll see what Seg ends up coming up to grasping overall, but you absolutely notice that this particular structure here has what one wouldn't necessarily call in your world. Oh, Seg 2. Seg's time in the infirmary that was often visited in Strixhaven gives him understanding of this particular device before you all in the bottom right corner. It holds over bags. One of the bags seems to have a dark substance of chrism, though it doesn't smell like blood to Seg immediately. You recognize these to be in the sense of what we know in our world as IV bags. However, what you wish to call them in your own world is up to you. Strixhaven rarely used such equipment, but one doctor did come to learn a discovery of the benefits of a gravity bag and the benefits that it would allow for patients that don't need constant nursing to be able to recover through a passive state of time while using one of these bags of gravity and putting the substance necessary within. They never told you how they came to this discovery, but they said that they had a opportune meeting with a wise mind and had since taken their studies into serious nature for the infirmary at Strixhaven.
Oh. I think this is artificial blood of some kind. I poked the bag a few times.
It is very fluid in nature. It doesn't have any kind of odd clots or clumps within it. All 3 bags hold a different tone of such fluid, though each fluid is the same in the sense of their fluidity.
I bet the deep red is from oxygen carrying molecules to keep a client or a patient alive while you do things, or after he's been injured.
Should I drink samples of each one to do an analysis of them? Scientifically,
You can, but I suspect they won't taste good.
You remember you took a negative effect last time you drank alien blood?
Well, this is fake blood.
Still, it's the stuff it's made out of, and they'd have to make it out of similar stuff.
I don't know. This place seems pretty manufactured. Give it a try. I want to write this down.
Seg walks up to the first bag, says, Shio, 99% of gamblers quit before they hit big. And then I stab it with trusty twisty straw TM.
I can imagine you have the fucking twisty straw too.
The end of it looks like 2 vampire teeth that he just stabs into something and starts sucking at the top.
No. We went over this. I tore out one of my fangs, or I had Web tear out one of my fangs to put at the end of the twisty straw.
Yeah.
It regrew. Just,
Yeah, as you go to do that, Shio, on the table, you see documents in a foreign language.
Ooh, I have a spell for this. I wonder if the spell can translate alien languages.
Do you attempt to?
Yes.
You go about trying to comprehend these languages, and it takes a second for these markings and symbolisms to unravel itself. It doesn't just change like a spell normally would for many contexts in your normal world. Here, it's almost as if it's working, but at a slower rate. It is figuring it out on its own to transcribe it to yourself. And even then, there might be some miscommunications with the lack of the actual spell's origination. As Seg pokes into the Chrism bag or the lighter ones?
The Chrism bag first.
You pop into it, and though it looked fluid, etc., upon the outside handling, the moment you puncture the bag, it's almost as if like a thick substance slowly gets pulled from the straw. You're putting a little effort in the suction of such. It has not reached your lips yet, as Shio does see a document present stating that the intellectual volatile sacs, IVs, just put that out there for you guys. All right. Serve a purpose of parasiting into the subject to discover the internal workings of one's DNA, in a lack of better wording.
This thing is going to be so confused when it tries to analyze Seg and gets like 4 different results. Daylich.
As Seg, you're pulling it in, it finally reaches your lips, and you feel something odd at first in your mouth. You're not quite sure if it's living or not. It's almost as if it strings and noodles out, even though you see a thick substance coming through the straw. The moment it has entered your orifice, you feel almost like a tendril like life briefly, and then you feel the back of your throat just get invaded. Immediately, you can give me a Constitution saving throw. You see this? Do you care to act in any way at this time?
I continue to write in my book. Can you describe what you're feeling?
Seg, with this going down its throat, is unable to communicate at this time as he's gagging, as the straw, even if he tries to pull it away, let's say, what would you be doing, Seg, as this is now throwing itself into you in what feels like a speedy rate, but yet the straw is still moving at a slow pace of smoothie consumption?
Sucking more down.
As he continues to do so in a birds-like manner. You guys don't quite see it affecting him in any immediate harm's way at this time, though we'll see how that goes on. With Seg's con save, you feel it go down your esophagus and reach into your stomach area and almost line the entire thing. Like you can literally feel as if like you take cough syrup that has like a coating to it and it just like hits your throat and then hits your stomach and you're like, oh man, like am I gonna feel this the whole time or do I gotta wash it down with something kind of vibe at this time? On top of that, you feel little pricks, almost like tingles across your internals, reaching any and all places at this time. Shio, as you continue to read this, Gaston, can you give me an insight check? You notice that the IVs in which are stated have two purposes. One of them is called Gret, and the other is called Porlearn Gret. The Gret is the Chrism dark tinted one. The Porlearn Gret is the lighter one. Gaston, your insight tells you that without even having to read what Shio's reading and just observing Seg, you see from inside this IV bag that there's a bit more activity going on inside. There's a bit more life. Though through the straw, it looks like a very thick substance. It's almost as if what is actually inside this fluid is using the fluid to shield its actual existing self. You understand that this is absolutely a living entity that is now being consumed into Seg and still alive. What that means otherwise is beyond you.
Guys, I think Seg's eating a living entity.
Why would you keep it on the blood rack? Oh, maybe it's a medical parasite.
It says here is that it's going to analyze what Seg is. I don't know if it's going to leave yet, though. I'm only partially the way through.
So some sort of nanotechnic medical diagnostic equipment?
Nah, it's more like an organism specifically designed to do this and then leave. Or, well, maybe not leave. Maybe it's just meant to monitor them. But it's a parasite.
I got a couple of those in my lab, though mine are much scarier.
So, it's going to analyze Seg, and then what? How do we get the information?
Let's
If
work.
we can.
Maybe it'll bring him back to life. If only for a moment.
Yeah, kind of impressive that it is managing to be alive at all in the pits of my stomach. That's probably got to be one of the most necrotic places on the planet right about now.
Oh, don't worry, it's spreading through your whole body. Shio just says offhandedly while trying to translate the alien language.
Ooh.
As you continue to go through, excuse me. All right, sorry. As you continue to read through, you come to understand something, Shio, that the Ansari may have been reclusive to the understanding of the Netherese, but they are agnatic. Their agnaticness is they are masters of bioengineering and parasite manipulation based off the notes. You see that these things do all kinds of purposes. The Gret and the Porlearn Gret are parasitic entities that infiltrate host creatures, not merely to siphon life force, but to extract something far more sinister. Essence threads of memory and potential. These threads are the very fibers that tie a creature to its destiny, ambition, and individuality.
That's not good. It looks like Seg's getting severed from destiny. And, his memories.
Now, roll a history check, everyone, and depending on how well you do, I will reiterate something you guys did discover in previous sessions that could have been forgotten, overlooked, or misplaced at this time.
Or just not remembered. You said lore?
History. Yeah.
History. Okay.
And Saigal is the at advantage as your. I would say that if you wish to pull away from the straw, you can, as the parasite has placed itself already, or you can continue consuming the substance.
Oh yes, even with advantage is strikes again. Oh, I know how we can solve it. He's technically not alive, so we can incinerate him, and he'll be fine.
Okay, how long would it take for his phylactery to regrow him? Do we know?
I don't know. I could probably accelerate
1d6 days.
You recall that the Ansari were masters of time manipulation. and understanding how to circumnavigate parallels in a way in which you guys yourselves have yet to come across. And they are also, you guys did pick this up. I don't have the exact number in front of me, but I believe they were placed in parallel 183, if I'm not mistaken, or 143. I'm not 100% sure on the word, on the actual date. I have to pull through these pages. But they are in the future of your guys' existence. So you would remember that, and this could be a key on how they've achieved such. I don't know if anyone else wrote that down by chance.
So, how do we... I have a question concerning the physiology of a Dalich.
Sure.
No, that he's saying this in character.
Gotcha. Okay.
Is the soul in your body, or is it in your phylactery?
Oh, the phylactery.
Then we might want to get the phylactery away from your current body.
Well, good thing it's way over there hunting that thing to wrestle it instead of down here with me.
He doesn't carry his own, it's with Whip.
Oh, it's also going to start siphoning your life force, by the way, Seg, so keep that in mind.
Yeah, we might want to... We might just want to destroy the shell at this point.
Oh, have him drink the next bag first.
Hold up, let's not double parasite him, because chances are it's going to regrow with him.
But by research.
No, we need to find out what one does on its own. It's called a sample.
I'm
I
not
will
doing a
go ahead
double
and break
blind
away
here.
from the bag.
We should is.
As you guys discuss this, you hear on a unannounced intercom within the room. You tread where no land dweller belongs. This experiment, your essence, shall feel the tapestry of existence.
Ooh, you can become a god? Amazing.
Not severed from time and space, because that's what it's doing to him. It's
Well, that's
stealing
how
his
you
potential.
become a god.
Wait, am I
all the
going
time in the
to
world.
feel the tapestry of existence or get cut from the tapestry of existence? Seg asks out.
Seg, as you say that, would you have a memory of a pet, a triumphant battle, a lover's smile, or something in which you would find as a vivid vision that you had lost a memory to and has now come forward?
Oh, yeah, I probably forgot a couple battles back in my pirate days.
One of them appeared to you. One of the moments in which defined your existence as a pirate back then. You remember you were on the ship of an Arakaka landing vessel. What their purposes was to make land and allow such nests and roosts to be transported without the need of flying materials and or other forms of transportation. It had come clear that using air flight and other air sources of travel, the winds were just too volatile for such necessary property transfers. While you were on this ship, you remember times where your own kin would brave the evils at the sea, something in which no Aarakocra enjoyed. Many of you would stay in the flight of following such a vessel, but you decided to guard the stuff personally. Well, you learned your footing that day. You also lost some of what you would consider your family. As this vivid memory flutters over you, it then vanishes, leaving completely.
Oh, well, that's not good.
You then all begin to hear, what could have been? What could have been indeed? I see battles of fire and metal, for you are part of a history that has yet to be laid flat and consumed of its true purposes. Identify.
Oh, Seg Sykes. This is for the other
Sykes.
robot, too.
Registered. future dilemmas. 13 known.
That's my lucky
You
number.
are exactly what the Gret are purposed for. We shall study you further. And then you hear this kind of like disconnect. Whatever it was is gone.
Are you still here?
He's probably gonna just get dementia. Oh, a dementia Dalich. Can't remember what his job is, so he's just gonna kill.
That's usually what happens with them.
Beyond feeling something within you, Seg, like an invasive non-threat. It's not like you don't feel it pulling anything from you or hindering you in any ability at this time in any way like that. But you do feel something in you, like I said, like a medication that just sits funky with its flavor or the way it just runs across the rest of your body. You eventually, throughout your time here, unless you guys were to find a way to remove it, will feel it connect to almost every nerve in your body in a way where when you take actions, you feel as if there's nerve firings that are capturing these moments. And you wouldn't understand it, but what its purpose based off of Shio's research is that it is recording. And somehow this recording is being transferred to some other entity beyond what's inside you.
It'd be kind of inconvenient to have to regrow right now, but I think next time we get to a relatively safe area, I ought to try deleting myself. It's just weird, man.
Yeah, I think you added yourself to the hive mind.
I think it might be safer to do it sooner rather than later.
Real quick, take a quick sidebar. I gotta help get my kid out of the car. He fell asleep. Be right back.
Like, I remember hearing a story about how memories are fragile when separated from the soul.
Mate.
Oh, I'm already pretty separated from my soul. I barely look at the thing anymore.
No, you're broadcasting into a shell. I'm almost 100% certain.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
All sixes to me.
I think we should, if Seg starts to act funny, that's when we act. But until we're out of this dangerous dungeon, I think just observing him for now will be fine. He's frontline anyway. Chances are he'll get disintegrated by a stray blast.
I mean, why would you build a medical device that's a spy?
I know. And does the page say anything about what the other one does?
I think one of them is meant to be hostile.
Joy. Could we please just not with these bags?
I agree. No more experimenting in the dangerous dungeon that we don't know anything about.
Like,
come here, Ace. I got a couple voles for you.
I don't want voles. I want science.
But they have little hats.
What? That's horrendous.
But
did you kill them while they had little hats?
They're alive, Iz. You think I'm gonna feed you dead voles?
Well, but they have little hats. That crosses the cuteness threshold. There are rules about this, Shio.
I put the hats on them, to be fair. I made them.
Well, now you gotta free them.
Not if you're not gonna eat them, then they can just stay cute.
Yeah. You can't eat cute things. That's why I only eat ugly voles. Come on, Shio. I thought you had morality.
The hats are edible, to be fair. Oh, go ahead, Gas.
I really wish I had a tombstone on me right now.
A tombstone?
I remember reading about it in my father's journal. Small rectangular device. You could access massive databases with it, take pictures, scroll on something called social media.
That sounds convenient.
That does sound really convenient. Didn't your arms dealer have something like that he wouldn't let us take because it would fuck with stuff?
Well, yeah, the Raven has all sorts of cool stuff. He's from the future.
I only wanted one thing from him, and he wouldn't give me my drawing pad.
That's the second time you guys have brought up this Raven. Who is he?
Oh,
Or she?
he's one of my employees. He's from the future, and he makes weapons. Well, and other technologies. And stuff that I made that I haven't made yet.
Yeah, he said he made a computer. It was fun. I could draw on it, and then on like the little tablet thing, it was like a reusable drawing pad. Ah, I want it so bad. Also, if Seg does end up going crazy, we could just hog tie him and then toss him into that convenient furnace over there.
How are you gonna hog
Sounds like a
tie
fun way to
that?
get it.
I mean, you just gotta wrap his wings up, cast that grounding spell so he can't fly away, or just
Maybe.
toss his phylactery in there. He'll jump in after it, then send a mage hand to pick up the phylactery.
Yeah, we don't have
rather.
Good.
I'd rather not risk losing an ally like that.
But that's the way he'd want to go, betraying his friends.
That is a pirate's way of life.
There's
wouldn't
also
that
the
be
thing
the way?
that I'm not necessarily clear on whether or not whether or not the 3 Dayliches that are in our party are the same entities that escaped in my where I came from.
Not
they
likely.
Reflection.
They
They
were
didn't
only
exist.
recently born. Unborn?
Because
Killed, technically, yeah.
at this point, I'm pretty sure I'm in a timeline that's not my original.
Yeah,
Well,
that'd be a
welcome
fair
to the
assessment.
club.
Especially with the... Wait, actually, have the Time Knights showed up in this timeline?
Oh, they're dead.
Okay, they're not dead they weren't dead where I came from.
There's only like 5 left around now, and they're all panicking and running around trying to do feudal stuff.
Alright, sorry about that, guys.
No worries.
Shio, you do see one more thing in the notes. Let me find that information for you. In your notes, there is something referred to. Let me see if I want to give you. Roll me. Let me check your character sheet. Hold on. Tricky. I'll allow an Arcana for this.
Okay. Jesus, my rolls tonight are not good. I have a plus 11 to Arcana.
I just assume mine are going to be terrible, and I'm never wrong.
I have to hope, but the hope always gets dashed.
You find. I'm gonna send you in DM on Discord real quick, just so you can kind of like muddle the actual contents of it. You would read as such, but then what you see is another thing. So give me one quick second to find your name in here. Where you at? Where you at? Jesus, I message you guys way too little. I feel, or I
Here,
have
I'll
way
send
too
you a
many.
quick message.
Yeah, send me a message. Yeah, I have way more people in here than you guys. All right. So you find a descriptor of something else. You do understand the name of it is the Overseer Parasite. And you find a descriptor of such in it beyond what I sent you. You would understand that it is an advanced bioengineer creation by the Ansari, a pinnacle of their parasitic technology.
Ooh. Iz opens his book and starts taking notes. If I integrate this into my mage hunters...
You'll just create a threat like the Phyrexians.
Please,
No, mine'll be better.
please do not research any more into those fucking things.
What? I mean, it's Shio's fault. He built them. Well, in another timeline.
That technically, my ancestors set set me on the path, what with creating their framework for evolution.
Okay, so a version of you that most likely may or may not still exist in an alternate timeline is responsible for the death of my boyfriend.
Maybe I mean, he's probably locked in my basement right now, so he's not really a big threat. Once we have some time, you could probably see if he's there.
I mean,
Yes,
I could
but
probably get your boyfriend back. He's alive in another timeline.
Yeah, if he died by my hands, chances are I stole his soul, so you could probably get it back.
Yeah.
Don't think so.
Aw. Is the other me not good at what he does? I mean, I'd steal
No,
his soul again.
my boyfriend was a warforged, and the core kind of got crushed.
Oh, but the core is where the soul is held in Warforged, I thought.
Yeah, it is.
Can we not go back in time, steal the core, but force destroyed?
Well, if he's destroyed the core, that means the soul didn't have a vessel. Which means you could have just taken the soul. You'd have to build him a new body, though.
I can do that.
Oh, that'd be romantic. No, he has to do it. It'd be romantic.
Oh.
No.
I can bring him back like as a gerbil or something.
Please don't.
Please don't.
Shio, I did send you one more thing you did pick up from the notes. After that, all the information there is undecipherable or jumbled beyond comprehension.
If his soul wasn't destroyed, then I'd rather he just potentially go through the cycle of reincarnation.
Oh. Okay. I mean, I broke reality to stop these sort of things, so.
If we see algae, guys, we should definitely not touch it.
Algae?
Yeah.
I'm now realizing that I'm right next to a plant and I don't know what it is.
It's a plant.
I mean, most plants here either drain spell slots, cause blindness, made us phase between realities. I'm good at...
Wait, you guys don't hear it screaming for blood?
Feed me. Feed me. Feed me.
Wait, is it asking for food? We could, like, water them.
Only if you water it in blood of its enemies, apparently.
Who's your enemies? Is it that plant over there? You look like you'd hate each other.
You know, in my experience, it's best not to trust plants that beg for blood.
Oh, it's blood they want? We already have someone in the party who's constantly yelling for blood. I don't have time for this blood plant.
I know. He needs to chill out. I'm gonna score to the tree. Wave my finger. Bad tree.
No, I honestly don't believe that you were communicating with it.
That's fine.
Seg, you are free to move. You should not be stuck or trapped or anything, but you're just infected. That's all. As you guys leave this room, you see a massive burning forge that's not giving off heat. Though it is ambient and in front of you, it looks as if you touch it, it would burn your hand into a melting gas of non-existence. Yet there is no heat reactively coming off of it. Instead, you see small little embers and like what could be resembled as a hot soot floating within the air around excuse me, around the device. But it itself seems to give off no protrusion of what it actually is functioning for. You do notice that the device is probably sitting at the maximum height of 15 feet within the corridor. It has two massive pylons on each side that are over-contained and within, creating this glowing effect within the bottom trellises of these slits. Right above the actual forge, this little rim here of sharp gold or yellow, what have you, is like a glass with the substance inside showing a constant moving in nature as if it was like a cement machine, constantly keeping, say, a gold mineral or material in the constant state of a fluid, or in a pliable shape. Though it is not gold, it is just yellow and such.
Remember, if it ever goes blue, don't go too.
Oh, this is a really good forge.
It's weird that it's here with nothing out here. Like, you think a forge would have like anvils or presses or molds or something.
Their technology works different. It could be that the robots do it and they don't like need protection against the flames.
Yes, but you still need tools.
Gaston?
What do I know about spelljammers?
Give me
Anything?
a history check. It would be in context of something you might have come into understanding of.
Imagine using a ship to go to different planes. Not us.
But even if you could form it with magic, you'd still need somewhere to put it. And it's such a small area, you can only make small things.
What if it's what it used to print out all of the robots is, and that's why there's so many scrapes? Like they all went that way and to evaluate the damage to the ship.
Steg, history check. Since you're the only one good at history.
Accurate. I ballot Victorian, save us.
And then is Arcana check as you examine the forge.
Yeah, no.
Seg, with 13th, because it's fresh information, you will recall that the Ansari sentries were created after the vessel has made landing here. Not before and not prior. So their involvement with such furnace lacks the details needed to understand its full function.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Seems like the forge has been here for a while, and that robot guy said earlier that they were made after the crash landing or whatever it's done.
Well, that's what I mean. It's like, what if the forge is automatic and it made all of the robots that came out of the forge?
Well, why would you build a forge with this? With the manufacturing inside? It's just heat and everything.
What if it's not actually a forge?
What would it be? Ooh, a power plant.
Gaston shrugs.
It could be a portal to hell. We have had a lot of those occur.
Detect magic. I don't think it.
Which hell?
I just sent you information. Is
Whichever layer Wep is from. He always knows whoever comes out of it, so it's got to be that single layer that everyone has access to.
Is this going to go up to the forge here and taste the fire? It tastes like a plane. A plane of fire, maybe?
Oh, did they take a portion of the plane of fire and contain it within this singular forge?
Like a demi-plane?
Not the demi-plane, more like a localized version of it. Like a hole? A transposed area?
Yeah, like that part of reality just is the fire plane.
Yeah, like we traded parts of reality. Part of ours for part of theirs.
I wonder what they traded.
Probably the bathroom. I haven't seen a single one on this ship. I'm very suspicious.
That's fair. Like, where's the guy gotta go? I'm pretty sure it's rude to pee on the wall.
Well, that's why there's so many bushes.
That's why they're always asking for blood, is they're pissed off because they keep getting pissed on.
This is making too much sense.
Alright, we've had too many revelations. I think I see like a lift over here.
Yeah, was it to the right? We needed to talk to the master controller? Or get an ID?
Oh yeah, it said south.
It also said it was on a balcony.
That's true.
Does anyone else see a glowy person to the north? Past the big electric-looking gate thing?
I see a glowing plant.
That's in another room.
Yeah, it is in another room, but he is stating if anyone sees it.
I mean, we could go talk.
Would I actually? I mean, there's ray chasing, so I'm assuming that this is an open door.
Correct.
Okay. Yes, I do see it.
I mean, we could go talk to the ghost.
I don't know. You see, remember the glow, the glowy blue? My notes say whenever metal glows blue, people die.
Well, that's
As
why
you
we
guys
should
walk
send
up,
Seg in first.
you see projections would be the best word. They're holograms, but you guys wouldn't have that term in mind. You see projections of what looks to be is Shio and Seg would recognize the two designs before you. You saw these exact. Well, Seg would really remember, but Iz would recall because of his relationship with such. And Shio, you were there at the facility when you guys had somehow got there by accident. These are perfect replicas of weaponries in which the Raven housed within its cases.
Oh, they're still on our weapon designs I haven't made yet. Lame.
Oh, I hope they have some of these lying around.
Gaston will point towards the one that's further south. That looks kind of like a machinist's aether cannon.
So there's kind of a red line here. I don't know if we should cross it.
Oh, these are illusions.
Oh.
These aren't the dangerous kind. I put my hand through it.
Oh, I think I know what this
Oh yeah,
is.
Seg's gonna step full force through it.
Seg, you walk into the room. Go ahead.
No, Gaston was going to go like, as Seg just walked in.
As Seg walks in, he sees 3 of these projection of individual humanoids that are covered in non-distinctive beyond the fact that they have a human's compass of layout. One of them is shooting one of the projected weapons present in the doorway at a target. In what it shoots, the ray that beams out of it, it's continuous. It's almost without clarifying an immediate understanding. It's almost as if it's looping.
A gun version of Witch Bolt? Heck yeah. Shio's just using what he knows to try to make sense of this.
Wait, it's been shooting that target for how long and the target still exists? I'm gonna put this in the C category.
As you guys
when I
walk
build
into
a
the
weapon,
room,
you pull the trigger, whatever you aim it at, including Shio, is gone.
that's the test, right?
Please don't
The Shio
include
test.
me.
How many Shios has he buried?
So many Shios. I look
What
over.
is that movie? With the shit? Is it? It's like 2 magicians are trying to outdo each other, and one makes a machine that makes clones of himself, and he buries the failures.
The Prestige, I think.
Thank you. The Prestige. Yes, that is such a good film.
Oh yeah, I loved every minute of that film. I was like,
yeah.
what is even happening?
Oh my gosh, yes. So yeah, it has like a whole prestige of Shios from his testing.
Yeah, they're all
Not
in my basement.
testing. It's because Shio keeps getting shot by Seg every time I give him a gun.
That's also
Stop
true.
giving Seg guns. Is the answer is every single Shio has said.
I can't say no when he gives me those puppy dog eyes. Come on.
You mean the bloodshot corneas that look into your soul?
Like I said.
You can't say no, I know.
See, Iz and I have an understanding. That's why he gave me the biggest guns and made me security chief.
Yeah. He's very trustworthy when he doesn't murder us.
Wait, you made him
Do you enter the room or do you
you
stay
graduated him just to make him staff?
No. That came after.
Or did it, Oracle?
Yes, Gaston is seeing this bullseye and is realizing this is something akin to an archery range. He's just gonna stay behind the he's just gonna stay on top of the red line and not actually enter.
Okay. As long as you are not in the room, you do not hear what is about to be shared as a recording procs. There's almost as if there's a sound nullifier. Now, you notice, Gaston, give me an insight. Let's see if you catch on to that real quick. If you notice the muffled voices of your allies. You do realize that while standing there, you are at a hindrance of understanding what it is your allies are communicating from within. Do you wish to continue to stay where you are?
It's safer to not be in an archery range if you have no business being in said archery range.
You got it. The rest of you, here. Recorded log 1, experimental weapon test, phase displacer cannon, cycle 1423.07. Participants, Overseer Quillix, weapon architect Lentar, tactical analyst S. Cyril. You then begin to hear a recording of individuals speaking. You don't know who or what voice is coming off at all from which or what, but you do imagine that it's one of the three. Proceed with the third iteration of the phase displacer test. Ensure all variables align with the extrapolated fault tolerances. Initiating sequences. Simulated terrain has been altered to mimic terrain class fortifications. Firing in 3, 2, 1. A loud hum and distorted effects are heard as the cannon discharges. Then a third speaks. Target obliteration confirmed. Radius of distortion increased by 14%. Collateral vaporization achieved without secondary energy loss. However, the recoil destabilizes projection accuracy beyond 1.3 light units. Noted. Recalibrate the stabilizers. We cannot afford inefficiencies in deployment. A single misstrike compromises operational superiority. Acknowledged, Overseer. Adjustments will be made. Would you like the field log uploaded for council review? No. This remains under our discretion until refinement is absolute. The council's scrutiny is unnecessary at this stage. And the log seems to end at that moment.
Oh, I gotta
they're
find where they
close.
kept this thing.
Ooh, Chio is really interested in these minor illusions because that's what he's considering them. He wants to like evaluate how these like these light things are like currently holding itself together, like the detail, how the light is fractaling certain ways, and he wants to try to improve his minor illusion spell with it.
Give me an Arcana check. As you do so, record log 2, neural implant field simulation. Cycle 1842.59. As you do your studying, you guys hear this next log. Participants, Overseer Kinol, Neuroengineer Valtier, Troop Projection Beta 12. Begin neural implant synchronization. Troop Beta 12, acknowledge and verify sensory feedback. Feedback confirmed. Neural link is stable. Peripheral augmentation functioning at 93% capacity. No significant delays in input translation. Enhance sensory modulation by 3%. Push it to failure thresholds. We must identify limitations under simulated combat. Acknowledgement. Engage combat maneuvers, simulating hostilities at maximum output. You hear a weapon fire and combat noises heard as if the simulation intensifies. Terminate the simulation before the projection collapses entirely. Valtier, explain this inefficiency. The host's cognitive framework struggles to integrate continuous modulation. It would stabilize with organic augmentation rather than projection. Permission to requisition live specimens. Denied for now. Continue refinement. This failure is a reflection of your inadequacy, not the host's. And then it cuts off.
A failed weapons test?
Well, those are the most recorded ones, is.
Are they? Huh.
As you guys are within the room, you do hear like a beep now going off. Beep, beep, beep.
I bet that's
It's coming from the entire room, almost ominous. And Shio, as you stare at this and study it carefully with your lucky reroll of a 23, you'll understand that the projection of these are coming from the entire room itself. The room was built to produce a full-on simulated setting of any and all things the Ansari anticipate running into.
Oh shoot! I'm getting out of this
He's
room.
gonna walk out.
Oh no!
Are you ready for the weapons test?
The whole room is a simulated room. It's a trick. It's a lie.
Gaston, you see Shio quickly hustle out of the room with fear in his eyes.
It's pure mathematical genius. It's like they implied all the math in a calculation engine, and it figures out how reality itself works. It's kind of what I do.
Oh,
Did Shio improve his minor illusions or illusion spells with understanding
he
these?
is, but it didn't just improve.
Okay. I was just checking.
okay. So this isn't an archery range?
Oh, it is after a fashion. It's one that simulates reality very closely. You can input variables and it'll respond automatically.
As you stand there, give me an investigation check at the entrance of this room. Seg, what are you doing inside?
Well, it sounds like it's counting down to do a weapons test. I want to observe a weapons test.
You hear the beeping continue. Seg, you find a record log that's written or produced in some form of legible writing. I'll send that to you shortly. Oops. Okay.
By the way, while you guys were in there, I did have my headphones off.
No worries. That's respected. You can hear this one because it's passive banter. Seg, you would be the only one who would hear this. Record log 3. Off-duty recording initiated. Cycle 2107.12. Tactical Analyst Esriel. Projection Troop Theta 4. It is inefficient to simulate hostile species so frequently. Their movements are erratic, their strategies simplistic. You misunderstand. Predicting simplicity requires as much precision as countering complexity. A swarm is more difficult to eliminate than an individual, even if each unit is dim-witted. Still, these Terrans are laughable. They hurl crude projectiles and scream as they fall. How do they expect to challenge us? Hubris blinds all. Remember that our strength lies not in gloating, but in domination. And then the record ends.
I'm going to give Seg the thumbs up from the outside.
And while you are inside, Seg, you see something no one else does. A fourth projection emerges. As it does, it approaches you. It says, identify non-projection.
Oh. Seg Deadeye Sykes, Advanced Weapons Specialist and Security Council member for the University of Strixhaven.
I am Overseer Quilix, or a pre-recording of what was I. You are within a simulated zone of danger, and yet you stand here unfeared, carrying even that of a parasite within you in which I can sense and get every detail of your person. You have offered your data upon entering here to be re-simulated. Would you like to face one of your own?
Do I want to fight myself? Yes, I would like to fight myself.
Allow the simulation to begin. So you see a version of yourself appear. 1 second, let me make it look ghastly. Hold on.
But I'm over here.
Go. Boop, boop. Boop. You see as it glows with a similar facet of your own. And it looks at you. It cocks its head to the left. And then it goes invisible. What do you do?
Oh shit. Invisibility. Well.
You guys see it, but don't hear the communication of that fourth projectile. Or you didn't see the fourth one, but you do see this projectile appear, which is a replica of Seg. And then it vanishes before your eyes. Seg is still in here.
You said this was a simulation room, right?
Yeah, of reality under preset conditions.
I think we're witnessing a duel.
Well, yeah. I bet it's using him as a target, or perhaps an input. Maybe it's simulating the enemy to be defeated. I can go to open my book and start writing down notes.
You see a ray of light blast through from the center of the room at you, Seg, and you manage to dodge out of the way just in time as you recognize that to be one of your own weapons, but handled way more properly. Because after that, a second blast goes out before you can react.
Oh.
And it catches you off guard. It's a repeater. As you get snatched from the side as you go to dodge one and get hit by the other, you take 27 points of full damage.
I don't, actually.
You do in this simulation.
It's not firing necrotic?
It's a simulation and you have the parasite in you. It has taken your data and figured out what weaknesses may or may not work against you. It is simulating possibilities against a threat it has not seen.
So it's not firing the Raven, then. It's firing some gun that looks like the Raven, but isn't. All right.
And it's invisible. But you did see that it fired from here.
All right. Well, we're going to fire back. I'm going to go with the Raven as well, actually. Because
At
I want to know.
disadvantage in the location in which you believe it to be standing.
I'm going to wave my arms so it gets attention. And I'm going to try to Pamina watch how he uses the gun.
Is it invisible?
I can't. It's invisible.
You then
Don't
hear
give me
movement.
excuses.
I mean, I can see it. I have true sight on, but
you can't speak to him within the room because you can't hear it either.
oh yeah, I had no intention to interfere.
You then hear, almost to your left-hand side, very close to you, about 20 feet, another blast from a separate weapon. And this one also hits you. Whatever, I guess, the descriptor of what it is that you're feeling, as it comes into contact with you, the parasite inside is what's causing the true damage to you. And I'll give you an insight check to see if you can figure that out, Seg.
All right. This is interesting.
Shio wants to take notes of how this Seg hologram is moving. Like,
if you
just
could, because you could see it. Give me insight, I guess.
Okay.
Seg, you can tell that whatever you consumed earlier is your bane. Shia, what you see and the others don't is that this creature is acting like a creature. It's not acting like a humanoid Seg going around and taking proper aim. It's sporadic. It's moving with hunches and quick maneuvers and swift feet. And its invisibility must be coming from a bit of skills in which Seg just has not understood or come to gather quite yet. However, you can tell that it's moving in like a bestial Segish manner if Seg had a lack of defined human in him.
Fascinating.
One sec. What would you do in response, Seg? As you know, it's somewhere to your left within 20 feet.
Oh, I'm looking for the spell.
Got it.
I'm gonna shoot. I'll shoot at it again real quick while I find the spell.
Okay. And what was the spell's intention? Sorry.
Oh, I'm looking for Summon Celestial.
You fire and it's bad. Somehow, some way, you manage to fire outside the room and just miss Shio. Shio ducks, seeing this happen as the gun somehow flings to the right end instead of the left.
Hold up.
Even better, go ahead.
If it's heading towards Shio, I would like to deflect energy.
Interesting. Okay. You see a beam flying in your direction. Go ahead and proc deflect energy. Let's see how that works real quick.
So it's basically deflect attacks, but I can do it with energy.
Ooh, okay. Okay. You manage to block its exit from the room as you throw your arm, or how would you say you describe deflecting it back again into the room?
I see I see it I see it heading towards Shion, and I basically just encase my arm in shadow and just backhand it back into the room.
All right. You see Gaston come before the frail opportune that could harm Shio. Quickly, blocking out. As it enters the simulation room, you see it go in and almost like defragment, like and break into itself. As Seg summons a Celestial, what do you summon? Ooh, nice, for 32 points.
The Defender. Its job is to stay right behind him.
Got it. And does it have True Sight?
Yeah. I mean, it'll attack him, obviously, but its main objective is just to stay right behind him so I can aim at him.
You got it. The Defender appears here. I don't know why we don't have a token for it, but it's this dude. And if it's behind him, you assume that it's one of these two spaces in which the bean is.
Okay.
You then hear over the intercom, just you say because you're in the room. Aberrant adaptation observed. Energy absorption detected. Necrotic energy output. Subject to true form manifestation. Log 4.
Ooh, it's reading the Celestial. That's
And
all.
then technically you took a turn. Yeah, that's right. You then see this. I'll say that the Defender moves with it since it didn't use its movement as you feel the Defender run up to you. Before you, invisibly, you hear the sense of more of a version of yourself that is without meaning or without purpose of desire for communicational needs, almost a ravished version. As you realize this self-discovery of what you could be, you then hear, test protocol terminated, and everything just shuts down. You feel this ease. The room comes to a calm. And then you see the fourth projection appear yet again, the Overseer. The rest of you guys do not see this. Shio, you see Seg disappear. The other Seg vanish as it kind of defragments before him, even though he can't see it himself.
Aw, I was studying that for my magic.
The Overseer walks up.
The winner?
We see the hybrid within your person can be benefited as a weapon for harnessing or a threat for neutralizing. This creates a tense conflict with our studies, and you must be studied further. Do you offer yourself as a human subject for our testings?
You know, actually, I'd really love to do that, but I feel like I've held the team up long enough, and we have stuff we have to get around to.
You will be referred to as Seg-14. Theta.
Sure, that works. I mean, you could do whatever tests you want while we're walking around. I just have to, be able to help them figure shit out.
Your parasite will keep monitoring.
Cool.
You then see the projection leave the room.
Wait, I had a question.
You could yell it out, but it is not there physically.
I'll still probably yell out, "Where do I find your weapons cache?"
You then hear the little over recording. The Raven's room.
Oh, we're going there. All right, I'll go to leave. I guess the Celestial will follow him until it respawns.
Easy enough. Understood. All right. You exit the room. Everyone just watches you in some sort of awe or considerations and curiosities, as they have no fucking clue what you truly experienced inside beyond just seeing some quick intermissions of context. You do feel weakened, however, because you did take real damage from the scenario.
I gotta train in there more often.
Don't worry, we're definitely gonna have Iz make us one when we get back, if we get back alive to Strixhaven.
Ooh. That could be fun.
Okay. I guess we could just keep going straight.
Gaston, wisdom save. You hear a whisper, a voice of familiarity, but at the same time, a voice distantly lost. Why do you not follow those in which you travel with? Whom prevents you from ill-wise decisions? You can respond to it in your mind, or you can verbally aloud speak to nothing. Or stay silent in your call.
Sorry, just realized I was muted.
No worries.
Yeah, no, I tried to re-roll that, which the re-roll was a 2. So it was worse. Let me actually adjust my focus really quick. Now I'm at 11 focus. In my head, I respond common sense.
That will prevent you from being killed. Only shortly. Be wise. The packs work better as a swarm, except when you are the target. You then feel a disconnect. Something is watching you, but that means it must be watching everyone else too.
Hey guys.
Yeah.
I just got a telepathic link to this thing very briefly. Pretty sure it's watching us.
Oh yeah, it's been watching us the
Yeah.
whole time. You didn't know?
I mean, I'm pretty sure it had some connection with each one of us at this point.
Oh, the robot
Yeah,
said that
but
it was going to be observing our every move.
It wasn't the robot.
Oh, it might be this overseer
Something-
parasite. I read it about it in my notes. This overseer parasite. It's kind of, or not my notes, but the notes on the desk. It's about the size of a human head, kind of bug-like. It will speak to you telepathically in a soothing, manipulative tone. It'll offer you power, knowledge, even salvation in exchange for compliance.
It asked me why I didn't follow you guys in there. I responded common sense. Yeah, it told me that'll only get me. It basically told me that'll only prevent my death for so long, and that hunters are better in a swarm rather than singular.
Yeah.
Which
Constance only gets you so far.
Well, then maybe it was the hive mind talking to you. Oh, that's a
Maybe.
cryptic warning. We should probably all make sure to stick together and make sure we enter the same rooms, because who knows what might try to cut us off from each other.
And who's not watching us? Evil me? Evil you? I look at saying, is there an evil version of you or a good version of you?
No, but there is a slightly more evil version, and he's usually watching.
Well, I don't think
Oh.
anyone can watch us right now. We're in like a reflection, and I think that like all the gods are protecting us right now from being watched.
Oh, the gods are
Well, not just
not
like
reliable.
the gods, but like the cosmic entities at large are just like protected. Like the realm we're in, not so much us, but just like nothing can see us right now.
I wouldn't trust them.
I mean, trust is earned.
Even if they earned it, I still wouldn't believe them. But yeah,
I mean, I don't trust most gods either.
see, he's smart.
I don't think we've trusted any of the gods we've met so far.
I don't think we have actually.
I mean, just that one god that promised to rewrite fate for us.
Yeah, but he was like one of the old ones who doesn't really get up to mischief anymore because he's kind of grown out of it.
There's only one god that I trust in a very weird way. They're very intimately connected to my father.
Is it your mother?
No.
Oh.
I don't know if we had this discussion in the timeline that you're from, but we did have a discussion about my mother in the timeline I'm from.
I don't... Did we? It's been a little while.
We found out that she did something that endangered...
Right. Was committed such a big war crime that even Iz had to kick her out of Strixhaven.
She did a whoopsie, and we don't know what it... She did a whoopsie, and we don't know the exact details.
Because Iz won't tell us.
I probably wrote it down in the war crime books, but you guys didn't take the time to read them all.
We're in a rush. We're always in a rush.
We're time travelers. We have all the time we need.
But never enough in the end.
It would have also been before he downgraded himself back to being a child.
Oh, was it before I was me? Or I should say at Oracle, baby?
I'm almost 100% positive.
Dang, it was such a big war crime. Even old Iz said, "Nah, you gotta stop that." That's bad. That's real bad.
I could rewind time. I don't even know what you could do.
What if it was like a non-time? What if they created a fixed event? Then you couldn't rewrite it.
I think you underestimate my abilities. Iz looks slightly miffed.
Look, you've never rewritten a fixed time for us before. How am I supposed to know you can do that? And she just mutters.
Well, I'm trying to do one now. Stupid freaking robot aliens.
If this is the amount of effort it takes after this, I don't think we should do it again.
I'm willing to do anything for my students.
Except teach them.
Well, it's because you got to save their lives constantly. Have you seen my school?
Our professors spend more time on the battlefield than they do prepping for class.
I'm more impressed that you somehow were able to convince the forces of nature to allow themselves to be manipulated via druidic ways by vampires. That rarely ever happens in the multiverse.
Yeah, I find it easier just not to ask nature.
He just finds one tree that's willing to do it, and then he just has them reproduce a lot of seeds.
I see. So
they know how far I'm willing to go.
So it's all the same tree then. Got it.
Yeah.
No, I've threatened many trees.
But only one will work with you.
Note to self, do not introduce a parasitic plague onto the forests in Witherbloom territory.
Oh yeah, that would be the tree, wouldn't it, Iz?
There's millions of trees there that are not my trees.
That's because they were planted by students.
Well, that and they were there beforehand. I didn't root out all the other trees.
I wonder how Miss Vess is doing.
Who?
That's the faculty member you were telling us about, right?
Yeah, the one that's always awkward around me.
Oh.
Anyways, we should probably continue exploring.
So do we want to
What?
head north into the room that looks like it's meant for a car, or south to the big circle that looks like a teleportation circle?
Inside the
I was
room
going to ask the robot.
south, you do see that there's like a busted monitor on the other end, or screen for your guys' reference, that seems to hold some life to it still. It's not, sprying out with sporadics of any sense, but it is still flickering with life, one could say.
Ooh.
How big is this shadow over here?
You mean like the darkness that's presented?
No, I mean this shadow that's being cast.
Probably 10-ish feet.
Would I be able? Basically, what I'm asking is, would I be able to fit myself inside that?
Sure.
Okay, then. I'm going to step into this shadow right here.
Okay.
Which I'm assuming is. Would this be considered dim light?
Inside this room or anywhere outside of here, not directly next to one of these kind of projections or this
Okay.
or any of the plants would be good. I think all the plants have some sort of natural hue and light that's permitted.
Does anyone have mend?
Oh, Big Me does.
Big U has everything. Is
I know. He's very talented. I don't, though.
Seg, you don't have Mendy? I don't know why I felt like your character once did.
I thought he did too.
I'm pretty
No,
sure he
I
did. Didn't you
do.
use it before?
think it might have gotten lost in one of the various changes to the character sheet and whatnot, but I originally got it at character creation to keep my guns pristine.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's a cantrip, so. Clerics can shift
Is that a-
their cantrips.
So, in the shadow right outside the
Yeah, it's
room.
right here.
So, I mean, that's
Oh, you do have Mendy on your 19 character sheet, so yeah, you have it, Seg. But go
Yeah, I
ahead,
thought it was a first level spell.
Never mind. Now that I've stepped closer, I no longer see a shadow here.
it's probably just the no, it should still be there because the lighting is technically let me move this one a little. How about now? Is it still in there?
No,
Oh,
I
you
don't
have dark
see it.
vision. That's why you don't see it.
Okay. If
And
that's the
then,
case,
yeah, that's the only reason. Yeah, but
Yeah,
it would be
if-
still present in the corner.
okay, yeah, that's 60 feet away. I'm just going to teleport over to that corner.
As you do.
Hey guys, is that the overlook they were talking about? I point up to the thing here.
I mean this.
Does that mean we're on a balcony?
No, the one that's above us.
Oh, it seems like there's a lot of gas coming from there, so we should wait to go that way.
Right, but I
Uh,
thought only I had to get identified anyway. What if I just go up to the gas thing and get identified?
Yeah.
It's not the. There's nothing there to identify. It was just wild released creatures.
Well, I think there's automaton up there. I'm gonna try to fly up and take a look.
So
While you're
it's actually
doing-
below you
Oh, is
for
it?
clarity. That's why things are smaller.
Yeah, that leads down below. Do I look at the monitor? What do I see?
You see all kinds of like what would be communication context or language in which you don't decipher immediately on looking at it. However, you see it come up with some kind of like circular like projection, and it begins to react to your presence before it. You see a little scan. Identify.
Gaston Grimspike, undergrad of Strixhaven Academy.
Would you like to teleport?
No, thank you. I can do that on my own.
It does not respond, but then behind you, a portal appears.
Okay, so this is a teleportation circle.
I don't see a lot of magic on that. I bet it's some sort of technological equivalent.
I'm going to teleport back outside.
Shio and Iz can give me an Arcana check as you guys stare at this portal that just randomly manifested before you. As you see all of the lights upon the mechanism around it light up, and both of you guys are just assumingly dumbfounded. And as Iz said, it must be equivalent, but it is absolutely non-magical.
Imagine that is not having to consume spell slots to teleport.
I can see how it'd work, but how are they manipulating time space?
It must. Oh, go ahead.
Ethereal manipulation?
Oh, sure, but how are they getting that with mechanical devices? I have more questions than answers.
Does this room feel a little bit heavier now that it's turned on? Like gravity has gotten heavier?
It's a great question. Perception check.
Again, Aether and magic are not the same. Aether and mana are not the same thing. They are two separate energies.
Oh, sure, but this might be technological as well.
Weight seems to be a little lighter as you enter the room, almost as if there's a pull toward the portal, as if it's a gravitational sense of destination. It doesn't yeet you into it, but you do get this sense of yearning toward it.
Is there also manipulating gravity?
Well, Psych history check.
Ooh, I really hope this hive mind will let me study their technology. It'd be really cool to implement.
I think someone spent way too much time on this, and I love every moment of it.
This smells of a civilization that decided to grow too fast all at once and fell because of it.
I disagree.
Seg, as the portal turns on, something inside you triggers. You look at it, and you immediately take to the understanding of what it is. They're using Azerite in a way that has never been formed in a manner that you understand. But this is Azerite. This portal is Azerite, mass molecules, something. But you definitely feel like it has to be Azerite related.
Okay. Compounding that realization with what he knows about advanced firearms, he's going to say, seems like plasmatic azerite. I didn't even know that was possible. I wonder what it'd be like to shoot that out of a gun.
From what I know of
point of azerite.
Wait. So am I right? Is it actually ethereal manipulation?
Tough to say without the notes.
No, I was asking in character to Seg.
Oh, gotcha.
I can, if Seg will fix the screen, I can use my ability to translate languages and learn more about this machine.
Yeah, and to answer your question, yeah, I'll go do that. And to answer your question, Gaston, I'm not exactly sure what it's doing. I just know that is definitely Azerite. The portal itself, I mean.
Can you give Gaston a little more information on what you know about Azerite? I don't think he's been present during your original discoveries.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'll have to go find it, actually.
Off the top is helpful, nonetheless. Shio could also provide information on Azerite.
Azerite is a it's like a hyperdense like it has anti-magic protection, but it isn't anti-magic, if that makes sense. It's also it's a material that's very rarely found, typically used in creating cores of creations that are resistant to magic. We found a vein of it before, and it's been used in golem creation to help give them like resistance to shatter and all that kinds of stuff. We found one in we found some in an adamantine golem that the Phyrexians made once.
Does it sometimes come in a liquid form that resembles that of fossil fuel?
Well, we've only discovered the almost crystalline version of it.
We found it in a raw mineral sense.
You're right. It is a mineral. So we found it in the ground as an ore vein. It's also connected to a singular goddess. She's formed a hive mind with it and can take over whatever is being used by it. So if you make a shield out of it, she'll start whispering in your head and slowly degrade you until she takes you over.
This is sounding similar to ceruleum.
Maybe they're the same material, just in different places, called different things.
Or perhaps different forms of matter.
That's true.
Ceruleum usually only comes in liquid form.
Oh. We've never tried liquefying it before.
But it also is very highly flammable. Similar to that of as fossil fuel. Sorry, what was that?
Oh, Azerite doesn't tend to be very flammable in our experience. Quite the opposite, actually. Relatively dense metalloid usually.
Okay.
But here it is in plasma state, so I guess anything's possible. Speaking of, it's a portal, right? Should we put the celestial through it and see what it sees?
Well, we should find out where it goes first. That's why I got the computer. Let's find out where it goes. We don't need to needlessly kill it.
So, do you mend the screen?
Yeah.
All right. That takes about a minute, maybe 5 minutes or so. As you do, Shio, you look over it and you see that this is I wouldn't go and say fully functional based off your understandings, but I would go as far as to say it seems to be a very well laid out parallel planar teleportation device. And it goes up to about, I'd say, somewhere around 800 parallels in which you guys have been to or fro, but it has not reached the 1,000th in which you guys have gone beyond of. It's almost as if like this is a tool to check in on the previous and or maybe go to for other rendered purposes. It does not state that there is a returning method of acceptance, but it does have a method of sending you to any parallel up to the 800th.
Okay,
So
guys,
I have a
we
question.
should not use this portal.
What's up?
Is this the type of portal that brings you entirely to another place? Or is it the type that destroys the current you and rebuilds a new you on the other side?
I think it's a portal.
Give me an intelligence check as you look at the device further to discern such information.
I'm only asking because if it is, if we go through it, I have to up the counter of how many times I've died.
You see that this has a way of sending whatever these Assyria, theta, betas, alphas, soldiers, what have you, were, whether or not they were actually their own human or their own species that they were just sending volunteers of, or if they were biologically created or what have you, unknown to you guys at this time. You do understand that they would send in people using the same technology in which you guys experienced on the log, and they would send live feedback. Whether or not they returned is a whole nother unknown clarity.
Yeah.
Hey, it is.
Oh?
Do you think we could use this thing to go back to my original timeline, and so I could turn my old sport team into thrall soldiers, and then we could plane shift back?
Aren't we from the same timeline?
No, he's from the second timeline. Is
Oh, so you're not
Also-
from the Vampster timeline.
Also, Shio, didn't you just say we shouldn't use this portal?
yeah, we absolutely shouldn't because you can't plane shift back into a reflection. And it's one way. It's designed to send people who are infected like Seg through, so that they can go and experience that plane and send all of the data back here. It's not really so much a like a teleporter, but it's more of a slingshot. You send someone somewhere, and if they come back, cool. If they don't, not a loss.
So a copier would be better than this machine, is what you're saying.
I'd say it's pretty good for reconnaissance. Maybe deploying a ton of troops to take over a dimension. But honestly, you'd need a bigger one of these.
I bet you could just print out new people when you needed them, though.
To be fair, it has a range of 800 parallels.
That's not too bad.
It's not
That's
too
better than
bad,
most Magics.
and from what I can tell here, it's just a prototype.
Yeah, let's look around. What's this thing up north then?
Is there any other useful information that Shio would have pulled up on this screen?
Other than the fact that a lot of stuff is redacted, you just completely understand at this point that this can take you guys back to any parallel within the up to 800, from 1 to 800. And what was sent there, who was sent there, were people who were able to give live feedback and monitor, etc., such things.
Let's go back to plane 1. I want to see what happened.
Hey, ship. If I vomit on this celestial, will you infect it too, so we can send it through and get live feedback?
I'm not
Say that
letting
again?
you infect a celestial seg. That's a violation of its, being a living, breathing creature with its own independent thoughts and everything. I will banish you back to your phylactery, and then throw your phylactery through the portal to Universe 1.
Well, it's the ship's portal. I figure it wants to know too if I send the celestial through. But I guess I don't have to vomit on it. I can still see through it.
Actually, this thing can't reach Universe 1. It
No,
can only
because we're
move
up to 12.
800 maximum.
No, it's from 1 to 800. It can't go
Oh.
beyond 800. So where you guys are and etc., like heavy things messed up beyond 800, it can't reach those. But this device was created and does have access between parallels 1 to 800.
Oh, I thought it was from the current plane that we're on, which is like 11 something.
Oh, I thought the same, actually, so that makes more sense.
Okay, so we can access planes 1 through 800 here.
We send Seg off to parallel 1. It's just War of the Spark.
If his phylactery's here, he will come back here.
When I die, yeah. Wait, could I go to Parallel 1 and just recruit/eat a bunch of Vampsters real quick, actually? Because I'm really low on health.
There's no Vampsters in Parallel 1.
Parallel 1's the first time I broke reality. You'll see, like,
Oh.
a super-powered version of me.
Oh, I want to go to the Vampster one.
Oh. What is that? 9, 8?
No, that's
8?
too far, because we were like 998. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's 998.
Aw, damn.
So it can launch people from 1 to 800.
Yeah.
Do we know what the parallel number is for FIN?
For FIN.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
If I turn it into Roman numerals.
The multiversal the multiversal serial number. Do we know the parallel for that world?
Oh,
Intelligence check across all of you, as you guys all kind of lay down the numbers.
There's no F in Roman numerals. Darn.
Not
if
to
it's
your
math,
knowledge.
can I get advantage?
Yes, you can have advantage.
It'll let me click. There it goes.
Just straight intelligence?
Yes.
Nice.
Very nice, actually. Jesus. You guys all came to know something. Seg, throw in intelligence just in case it skews it. Nice. Okay. 1 second. Let me check my notes on that one. I do have it listed here.
Oh, dear Lord. It turns out it's 801.
Well, we could get you to 800, and then I can bring you over dimension if that comes to it.
Guys, we're
I'll
not
make you
leaving
scroll some.
Tasari's reflection.
Yeah, but I don't know where I would end up. Like, would I end up in the Dynamis field? Would I end up at the end at the bar at the end of the universe? Would I end up in the Desert of Light?
The bar at the end of the universe has the best food.
With your guys' roles, this is what you discover. And I'm just going to put it like this, because I'll say you guys use the technology before you in the machine to pull up these potential parallels, even though they go beyond the scope of what the machine claims to be able to do. And this is what it provides back. I'm typing it out for you guys. All right. I mean, I could copy and paste, but sometimes I just like to feel it typing. This is the information you get every single time you put in one of these numbers, or you guys go through the Fin catalog. And these are the numbers you come up with. And these are the words that come up next to them as you type them into the machine.
Okay, all of them are out of range, but we should take notes on these, which I'm doing.
Wow, I like the fact that there's entire timelines that are built, entire technological bases, based on the fact that I broke reality.
The only other number sequences that you guys come up with, because you guys rolled so high, are these, in which do not come up registered in the system. Even though 797 is within lengths, that information is redacted.
Ooh. You keep all the best places redacted.
As you go into the up canopy of this other room, you see that this machine would descend when it is in functioning order. What it descends to is unknown, and how to get it to activate is also unknown. There does not seem to be a platform or any kind of mechanism within the room that operates it. However, you can tell by the seams and the way the layout of the position of the structure that it would go further below.
Hey guys, I think this is an elevator. Probably using some sort of remote sensing system to activate it.
Oh, before we get into that, it just occurred to me, it has a range of 800, but what if you go negative?
Is it at 0 or is it a higher number?
Well, if it goes from parallel 1 to 800, would we be able to go to, say, 0, -1, -2, -3? Is that just like the Shadowfell version? Is it the good one where like all the good stuff happens and we're just in the negative timelines?
No, it's
So-
the opposite version of us. We'll explode instantly.
So I'm going to stop you right there. From what I know about the Shadowfell, and I should know a bit, from my understanding of the Shadowfell, isn't that like a set of planes that are outside of time and space?
To my knowledge,
It's considered a unique limbo. However, there is always a ruling of I wouldn't go as far as say time, but passing of such.
Right.
Though it's
Right.
not physically there, it does affect it in some ways.
Like, the domains of dread are disconnected from everything. And time may pass, but history is a circle.
In a sense.
Did I break the circle?
you broke the spiral. Is
No, if you broke the circle, then you... Is your life a domain of dread? Are you a lord of dread?
at this
No.
point probably.
I'm probably much
Are-
worse.
Are we actually in the Shadowfell right now?
I don't know.
No, I'm
I
pretty
don't need
sure we're in the
another-
celestial realm.
I don't need another existential crisis right now. I'm just going to shut up.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a lot of existential crises along the way. You grow kind of numb to them.
He's just gonna look around confused. Okay, I won't talk about it then.
About
Weird.
what?
Exactly.
Anyhow, you
gonna
said
poke
something
stick.
about an elevator. Is
Oh, yeah, it's there, but I don't see a button.
like in this room or in the other room?
Oh, where the elevator's at? It's just an elevator. I assume there's some sort of communication somewhere, but I don't see it.
Is there an elevator button on this screen?
On yours, no.
Ah, darn. All right. We should go to the elevator room. That's not the one across the hall, is?
Yes. I can
Maybe
see
if we-
where it slides.
Maybe if we go in there, it'll do something. Wait, aren't we supposed to stay on this floor? We're just supposed to go north, and then we can't
Let's
get too
let's
far
get
off
Sig
of.
the ID.
Yeah, if we get the ID first, then Seg doesn't have to constantly identify himself.
Is Sig still alive?
Mhm.
Probably.
Even
I think it said
present
we
or
have to go north.
executed? Sorry. Oh, where'd Seg go?
Bathroom.
Oh, got it. I was confused when you said is he alive. I was like, what did I miss?
Oh, he's been quiet for a while.
Right.
I was concerned. I mean, he's already dead, so he might go full dead at any time. You never know.
This is
I'll
true.
just move him with us.
So, do we throw him in the pit to get the ID? How does this work?
We need to find the ID room first, which it said north, and then we had to take a right.
Oh, look, tracks.
I don't like that those tracks come from this. Oh, is this the thing that makes the tracks?
Yeah, it has two pokey things.
Forklift certified.
I'm just
It
gonna
is a
try. I'm just gonna try to stay away from those ominous spore-looking clouds.
Oh, for sure.
the
As soon as they
miasma.
become an issue, I'm casting that spell. I
one?
do have proficiency with land vehicles, though.
All right. Go ahead and give me a intelligence check at advantage to see if this is a land vehicle.
This looks a little
Two
more
nat
complicated than your
ones.
card.
Two nat ones.
2 nat 10s.
You're very average.
This is alien technology. I barely understand what a planet is.
What?
This machine is, I mean, obviously to our world sense, it looks like a forklift, though it is not. Shio, based off of this machine, it has 15 handles inside. Of such, those 15 handles allow this machine to work in multiple directionary needs. It seems to be that of a collecting device. The two prongs in which appear before you are retractable completely. The reason why they are currently out is unknown. It does seem to have, like, basically, obviously, you guys are coming up to the understanding that nothing here uses magic to function. And that's the most confusing aspect to you guys. This has wires and other kinds of things known as hydraulics that you guys would not be able to grasp at this immediate period without detailed notes or functioning manuals. But what puzzles you the most is the overbearing use of materials to make these devices. Magic would be able to prevent this by 80% of material use. However, this thing is fully functional in its own right if you knew how to use it.
Gio, I think I understand why my future tech weapons don't use magic.
So you can spend all that platinum holding the school down?
No, because I don't know how it works and I must know. I feel a burning desire to know how it works.
Well, for once we're got a united front here. I would like to know how this stuff works too. How does it work
Man,
without
cheat,
magic?
just ask Raven. He knows, but he won't tell me.
Yeah, we'd have to torture it out of him. I don't want to do that. You don't want to piss off your arms dealer. Who knows who he
What?
sells to?
No, I was just gonna live through that all time and come back and tell me.
That's such a effort. Learn now.
It
Learn
wouldn't
with me.
affect me now. It would just be. You're terrible at this time travel thing.
I don't like time travel, My only experience is being violently shunted around it.
I mean, this would be like your first loop causality. Come on, Shio. Time to grow up.
I better get a chronomancy degree after, like, minor at least, after this.
What? Never. You better pass the test. Say,
I-
pass the test.
Yeah.
A
Gives you
30%
high
out of 100 is not a test worth passing. You gave him a curve.
No,
Hey,
he's improved significantly since graduating. When
This
was the
is
last
true.
time he got anything wrong?
You mean a week
Anything.
ago? He
He knew
graduated
about
a week ago.
plasma. He knew about plasma. I had to read my book. I didn't teach him that. I didn't teach him that.
No, he learned what's in his gun.
Well, I know. That's because he's smart.
Go. We all learn in different ways. I learned with murder.
See?
I wish I had the sleep spell.
I'm just saying, I have the most effective teaching method for his learning method.
Please do not use that word.
Which one?
Murder?
The W word.
Teaching?
I
That's
said
not
W.
Is looks around confused. He's not a wordsmith.
A W.
Which word? Seg, who's
Don't-
like looking at his little notes of W words, and they're all like falling out of his hands because he has like note cards to learn how to read.
Don't use words when talking to him. I think that's what he meant.
Well, we'll figure it out later.
Giant dialect, basically just grunt noises. I can speak to you in giant.
What is the one where they make clicking noises communicate? Swahili?
Oh, that's I can't place the name of it. I don't think it's Swahili though.
Oh, I can
It's a
tell you.
handful of somethings. But nonetheless, from where you guys stand, there are two different paths that go down. One of them presented is the tracks in which this device seemed to have traversed and where you guys are on the north side. The other is on the south side where there does seem to be another mechanism of the same similarity, but it has not been moving or has not left any tracks of its previous position. Do you guys go the north or south route?
So we have
I was
to go
gonna-
north. Oh, what? Go ahead.
I was going to suggest we actually finish exploring this room because we never actually finished exploring it.
I was
That's fair.
about to say the same, yeah.
Totally fine.
That's fair.
Can I look at what's the red glowy shit inside the red glowy containers?
Oh, that's the people. Remember, is
The P.
Yeah, that's the Asari in various forms of being
ascendancy.
formed.
I'm going to turn to the robot. Explain ascendancy protocols.
Do you wish to understand our developments in ranking, or our developments in progressing beyond that of the original matter of our species?
Option B.
We originated with the 12. We were gifted that of a vessel in which was provided by the 4, in which we betrayed over time. The history of that is redacted beyond such degree. The original 12, however, used their own knowledge and capabilities of biotech engineering with the lack of what is known as Phares in most preceding planes of existence. Their belief in resisting the use and understanding of such will empower them beyond all other races in which they would intertwine with, in which has been a successful endeavor thus far. A common misperception in which is commonly seen across most planes or planar existence and planets is the common term used as warforged. They are not nearly the same in the sense of our species' equivalents of what they have created. For example, myself. I would be mistaken as a warforged on your plane. However, I am superior beyond all existence of such, though I do not hold the soul of a warforged like you all have come to know. We are simply as obedient as created.
You know I was playing around with Phares, but I get the feeling I didn't dig deep enough, Shio.
The more and more we talk to these things about the 12, the more and more I keep thinking, are we inside of the body of the Traveler?
Possibly.
Stop giving the Traveler an aneurysm.
And I don't mean the Fae. I do not mean the Fae god, the Fae patron, the Traveler.
It's
I understand you.
possible. But
I mean the part of the 12 gods that is the Traveler.
Another god.
Because they were the... Okay, so... remember when I described what you guys told me was essentially your shattering of Pangea event?
Hmm?
Oh, the moon crashing and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, with the 12 monks. One of those monks survived giving their divinity to effectively save everything. This monk eventually, through giving up his divinity, became mortal and became known as the Traveler. Or rather, he was known as the Traveler, but in giving up his title, he basically became a Traveler. And just basically roamed the plane of existence that was known as Atheris.
Huh.
What if this weird reflection is us basically being inside the body of a variant of the Traveler?
Boy, is a possibility. I look at the robot. Is that correct?
We cannot clarify, though, however, we do know our creation was a failsafe created by the manifestation of the 12 that created the hive mind. The hive mind did not come into existence until the 11 departed, and the singular one was left for an extended amount of time in which triggered such sequences.
Okay, so we're possibly not in the Traveler, we're in another one of the gods? Or monks, or what have you?
Insight check, Gaston.
I think the last of the 13, was it? Or 12?
12.
I think I think they turned into the singular hive mind. They just got left alone so long that they made more of themselves.
13.
Tough. There's an organizational sense to your understanding of not just the traveler, but the whole. You might be coming to the revelation that this, and now again, to reiterate, the Ansari are claimed to be in your guys' future parallels of successors, though they are present now and they were present prior. You're grasping that the entirety of whatever the Ansari 12 are is a council in loose terms of predefining controls that may have existed along the entire period of your guys' lifespans without knowledge until now.
So, correct me if I am misunderstanding what you're saying. You're saying that the 12 have existed in one form or another throughout all parallels?
In your understanding to this so far, yes.
Okay, good to know. So I'm now just realizing the 12 is a constant throughout all parallels.
Does seem like the other fingerprints in too many of these.
No, I mean, it's not the same 12, and yet it is.
Yeah, same bodies, different souls.
Yeah, they
More
sound like
like
an infinite subset.
More like the organization itself exists, but not the same entities in it.
Yep.
That makes sense.
And the
We're getting
events
new
one
teachers every
way,
day.
the events one way or another are always the same.
Exactly.
As much as it changes, it always stays the same.
Like a freaking subset of infinity.
In retrospect, as you state this to the three of them present, they can absolutely confer with you that this is a very valid potential fact, as they themselves have experienced themselves in other parallels and knew the rule was to never interact with them, and they've even made that mistake one too many times.
When was the last time we followed rules?
But they could confirm such when they originally brought over Lorraine, when they discovered the Dina Order was the same person and they both existed in the same parallels as they traveled through them. They could confirm your suspicion that, yes, the 12 not necessarily rotate or change, but per parallel constantly exist.
Right. That's what I was getting at.
That makes sense. Everything is slightly different. People's
Yes, but I would
personalities
confer that
slightly
everyone
change.
would be able to come to such senses that this is a very high possibility and that the Ansari are probably a very high pivotal point in which many factors have existed. Now, I will also say something that maybe you're not aware of, Gaston, is it has been canonically established that Shio, unintentionally in a parallel, unbeknownst at another time, did create the origination of the Phyrexian. Not necessarily dubbed Phyrexian, not necessarily meant to do what the Phyrexian are doing, but had a hand in it.
Look, it's not my fault everything I touch turns perfect.
So, I was aware. Above game, I was aware of this previously. I don't think it was until this session that Gaston actually realized that it was a parallel of Shio that made the Phyrexians that we're currently fighting.
He's a root of it. He's not the only one to blame. There's Tempos and a few others, but he's definitely a cause.
The Phyrexians are an inevitability, so even if it's not him, it'll be someone else.
I wish the robots knew about Phyrexians. That's weird that they don't.
Oh my
And that's
god.
something quite interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm worried we might have given the Phyrexians knowledge of themselves before they became Phyrexians.
They can travel through time too. They told themselves.
I can't believe that Shio is Yawgmoth.
Yeah,
mean-
Shio.
He wants his own planet and his own plane, and he was willing to do it 5 sessions ago prior to knowing the conditions. I'll put that much out there.
I'm willing to do
that
it,
Shio is Yawgmoth.
but the party would be upset if I just left for a while.
Me and Shio had a very heavy discussion on what it would take for him to revive the Ender, and we discussed it. He knows what needs to be done. So I'm not saying that this is going to happen.
We've gone
But
so
he
far
knows
off
things you guys are not
path.
aware of.
Like,
Cool.
Like,
Which one of us is wait, sorry.
I'd be willing to do it, but the party would be down a powerful person. Like, I'll still be here, I just won't be nearly as powerful.
I could just get another you.
We tried that already, and the Phyrexians took it over.
Oh yeah. You should stop doing that.
So which one of us is Urza, and is that person going to kill Shio, thus turning them into the god that they so desire to be?
I ain't letting no one kill me.
I look down upon God, so no.
Iz wouldn't kill me, he'd just put me in a box.
I put everyone in boxes.
I'd kill him, but he's worth more alive than dead. He's kind of neat when he's alive.
So is Web.
Look, I didn't expect us to go into reflections.
Okay.
If y'all want me to go be more powerful, I can do that. No problem.
Please
Just
don't.
say the word.
Yes.
Alright, that's one vote no, one vote yes.
I'd like to imagine this whole entire conversation we're currently having is an omaki.
A what?
Not canon.
Oh.
I mean,
We're having it in character, but it's not canon.
Oh yeah. That's half the crap we do, so.
yeah. I didn't know we'd be going into reflections. I probably should have started what I did before right off the bat.
You can do it when we get back. This won't last forever.
Yeah, but we have to deal with the projection, and I was going to deal with it after that. Although, if you guys are willing to deal the legwork on the projections...
Gaston's gonna look at this vessel.
Okay. As you guys look inside, you see that there seems to be some kind of larger than life platelets and or substance cells of unknown species within. You do see a small section in which there is a monitor onto the right hand side, this little Game Boy looking thing here. And then there are two segments here. There's a larger one that shows almost a magnified version of what's within. And then you see a small one that almost has like a isolated integer of whatever is within it. You don't know what they are in any retrospect of species sense, but it seems as if it is doing similar essence in which Seg is living with, but more in a defactored manner.
Gaston's gonna look towards the robot. Excuse me?
To the robot? Okay, sorry. It goes, yes.
To this one. What is this device over here? Out of curiosity. He points to the giant blue glowing mechanical device.
These are devices in which we study specimens collected and taken into decompartmented specializations. This
Oh, it's a
particular
centrifuge.
species is here to provide us with the necessary non-linear regeneration effects in which they have displayed on their home plane.
Non-regeneration?
Correct. Now, why would someone be looking at non-regeneration?
Well, you said non-linear. So, non-linear regeneration, when I think about that, the word cancer comes to mind.
Non-regeneration and cancer? That's
No,
like
no,
opposites.
not non-linear regeneration.
Is that
In the
like when
sense
you
of, like,
replace part of yourself in the current with a past piece and your past piece just heals it instead?
in retrospect, that is a great layman's example. To be fair
Okay.
with Gaston's point, he's not wrong. It's like cancer going dormant, and yet you recover in a non-predictable progression over time, something that you can't just give a plan to. They are looking at the sense of whatever the species is, how it's capable of reforming and refactoring itself under all conditions, but yet not any single condition sits.
Oh, an eternally adaptive creature, like something that their weapons wouldn't be effective
But
against.
that would go along great with Gaston's general description of a cancer. A cancer is living and always generates somehow with no known predecessor of inkling. It just does. And that is what they are currently studying.
So, like a Tarrasque.
A Tarrasque
Which-
has a defined blueprint of what it is, though.
But that was created by the Netheries.
Mm-hmm.
And the Netheries discovered the Anasari first.
I'm starting to think more and more that these guys might be Thorexian.
Oh, you think?
I try not to, but it happens anyway.
I've
Yeah.
I've had this suspicion since we met that one over there.
I don't
Yeah.
know. They don't seem super orderly.
Well, I'm worried that this is like the beginnings of them. Like, not exactly what they are, but like maybe even a subsect of them breaks off and becomes Thorexian.
Or perhaps this is way after the end.
They do seem pretty futuristic for Phyrexians.
They could have evolved past the Thorexian and like attained a higher level of sentience that wasn't consume and replicate everything, and then ended up back at the beginning of time because they kind of wasted all of their time.
Most Phyrexians we met are kind of bioorganic in nature as well.
Yeah,
Remember, you
and
break the outside shell, and there's always a gooey center.
yeah, the notes in the lab said something about or no, it was the hologram thing that was talking to us. It said something about combining machinery and organics. That was really what kind of connected the dots for me.
Well,
Because if that was a past weapons test, and it doesn't have to be even a recent past weapons test, that could have been like ancient history weapons test, and it's just cycling through all of its weapons tests. It's a lot to consider, and I hope they don't become the Thorexians. I hope they were them, because that means even if we don't beat them, at least a better future will happen.
I have a question. Turns towards the robot. Does the designation Omega mean anything.
Omega, unclassified, non-distinctive, unrecorded.
Well, it was worth a shot.
What? I mean, it's a basic Greek symbol.
No, there's an entity that I know of from stories of my father, known as Omega.
Oh.
It was it was a construct that was obsessed with bettering itself, and eventually it, in a bid to try to understand humans and their drive to break their own limits, started to simulate the faculties of a human.
I'm gonna grab another beer. We're gonna run a couple extra minutes over to make up for the time we lost, so continue you guys' conversation.
Through the power of through the power of energy that I don't know much about it. It was referred to as dynamis.
I look over confused at Seg. Yeah, Seg, tell us about this dynamis.
Yeah, Seg, you know so much about this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're so smart in this stuff.
Make
Right.
him roll a history.
Dynamis. So glad you asked.
Wait, is there actually a thing called dynamis in this game?
Oh no,
no.
we're pinning this on Seg, making it seem like he knows a lot, so he sets him up for failure. We're setting him up for failure.
Okay,
Okay,
awesome.
he's my valedictorian, so I assume he knows everything.
Yeah, the Dynamis, the ancient ancestor to the Dynamitian race. Yeah, really explosive. Those guys.
And their catchphrase, Dynamite.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
that's a common misconception.
all I really-
It's actually Dino me. The long eye.
All I really know about dynamis is it's supposed to be an energy that relates to willpower. Yet, 1 unit of dynamis compared to 1 unit of aether or Phares mana is extremely weak in comparison. But in order to overcome that, there's a fuck ton of dynamis in the general multiverse.
Do you have
it's like
said
dark
Dynamis
energy.
on you?
Everyone does.
I have it? How can I
Yes.
wield it?
I want it.
Willpower.
It's my willpower?
It's literally your will.
You hear the sentry bot interrupt. Excuse me, your reference of such is categorized a bit differently. We refer to it as innate abilities, in which we displayed in the... They point off in the distance toward the room in which you guys can't see through the walls, but the simulation room. Your species here, Seg Sykes, does not yet know how to turn invisible, yet we swiftly used it against him due to the parasite within his body, teaching us what his body is truly capable of when pushed to such limits.
Wait. Hold on. Because you're lying to me. I know how to turn invisible. Does that mean that guy turned invisible without using magic?
He didn't have magic, Seg.
The
Well,
Ansari are completely lack of such abilities. Their gene pool does not allow them to hold the Phares essence or mana in which you guys refer to in the abilities you use. They have completely remanipulated the world's existence, doing the same things in which have functioned across planes without the use of the dependencies in which you have seen yourselves needing.
Wait,
So
did
they
they
use-
turn invisible, or did they just turn off the projector?
No, because I saw it literally turned itself invisible. Like, I was observing it so I can improve my own illusion work, but, like, it was invisible.
But I mean,
You're
if it's
tell-
an illusion and it just stops illusioning, is it invisible or just gone?
No, it was taking on the properties of the thing it was illusioning as, but like better because it already knows everything about Seg's genetic makeup.
Does that mean the parasite within me could teach me how to become invisible without using magic? That'd be handy.
Can't vampires
teach
turn
you how-
invisible? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Good.
It could teach you how to break your limits.
See, I knew it was a good idea to drink this blood bag. Now I want to go back and drink the other one.
No, it's still gonna drain your life force.
Yeah.
He doesn't have life force. He's already dead.
No, it'll drain his
I
physical life force.
I kind of hold my hands up to the corpse that is animated.
Well, it won't be animated when the thing is done with it.
He's a magical construct. I mean, he's not alive.
So, I don't know how to explain this in character, but I would imagine that Dynamis actually relates to inspiration.
Oh yeah, I have one of those I have to use. Ooh, like a
I would also imagine that that wishes could also be used to basically wishes could basically be a form of manipulating Dynamis through aether and magic. Basically combining all three into forcing reality to bend to your will.
The three of you, other than Gaston, since he has come from another plane completely with experiences that speak of such that are only capable of something prior. The three of you guys give me history checks at advantage.
You think history's gonna save me?
Nat 20.
Nat 20 for Shio. Okay, let's see what else we get.
I apologize, but I did not know how to describe it in character.
22.
I
get it. Sometimes I have difficulty explaining things for Shio. He's a farm boy.
I saved myself from a nat 1.
So with Shio's nat 20, you immediately something ticks. How did the Netherese lose the ability to cast higher level spells? How did the Netherese reach that prior without anything in the current advanced state of the world? And why is it the Netherese were the epitome of the best, even though they no longer theoretically exist to the textbooks and or to the races that be?
Oh, they didn't exist on the primary timeline, but this ain't it.
You are not mistaken. You are not 100%, but you have a correction that leads to the understanding. Now, the Netherese found the Ansari before anyone else did. The Netherese were studying the Ansari, not working with them. So the Netherese did what they could with what the Ansari left behind. The Netherese rose in power based off of power created from future tech in which did not exist on the magical sense of Faerus.
So with their technology that's just here, I could theoretically start casting higher tier spells.
I look at Shio. Yeah, I definitely don't have those written down anywhere.
I turn to Iz and say, "Don't lie to me. I know about the restricted section of the library. The one's labeled 10th, 11th, and 12th. To be fair, the 12th room is just like a box in the room. I don't get that one.
Shio, you know it doesn't stop at 12, right?
Yes, I am aware, but I can only cast up to 12 with this mortal coil.
Time to upgrade.
I wish I could, but we're stuck in a space outside of space and time, and I don't think I can plane shift right now.
Uses.
She does that frustrated thing with Iz, where you
I bet Seg could do it. Seg, you could cast 12th level spells, can't you?
Not yet. I need a bunch more souls for that. Speaking of sitting here anyhow, could we do some passive healing? I got it if you don't answer.
I could. How injured are you? I look at his
Oh,
mortal
Jesus
coil.
Christ.
Oh, I'm fucked.
Are you really that bad?
Oh yeah. 17. I'm like a one hit down.
Holy shit.
I've only got.
Yeah, he's been pretty low, and I never had the chance to hurt him after.
I
I was
could
like, I'm gonna
heal
get him
you
this
up, but it's
time.
gonna waste like 100 healing. Is anyone else
Alright, I
injured?
got it.
Do you got
I'm
it?
mildly injured. I need what's 8 plus 8 minus. I need 16 health.
Dude, I just realized
So-
you are covered in your own ichor.
I do about
Oh, yeah.
200 healing per cast, so we gotta keep that in mind. So if it's close to, I can do it.
It looks like your health is down too. You got little scratches all over your scales.
Yeah, but that's like 20 points. That's not.
So Seg needs what, like 130? I need like 16, 17. Gast, are you
I'm
injured at
fine.
all?
No, I'm good.
And then you need 20. I think that's almost the full casting.
All right.
Well, and
I'll
I
do
don't
it.
know if he's. I know he's not technically here, but I know that Wet is a bit injured too.
All right. Well, let's get him here, and we'll heal him up.
He's like, I'm busy searching for tackling. No, I'm just kidding. He runs up. I'll heal, and then he goes, now back to wrestling.
He hasn't
Guess
realized
no.
it's an illusion yet, I said to Iz.
He's down about 34ish.
I'm going to open a portal to the realm of positive energy. Let it flow through you. Good vibrations, man. Good vibrations.
God,
Whatever
healing
you
must
do, do
suck
not-
for Seg.
Whatever you do not go inside that portal and stay there for more than 3 minutes.
I've had no one survive that experience. They're fine.
They're literally vibing.
Maximum
I don't know
5.
if I was wrong on how much health he needed, but I typed in 34 and it max healed him, so I want to say I was 100% accurate.
If there's any way we have more than 216 points of healing, yeah.
We
No, you
haven't
guys
done
are good.
combat this session. We'd be so bad.
I pretty much sucked it all up for like 100 and what is that, 17 minus? Like 130 something of it, and then another 30, so about 160 of it was used.
Okay. Hey, Automaton, do you need healing?
We do not take any substantial damage. Our pool is significantly over 200 plus.
How about the glowy orb people? I
They
blame
are
them.
in a strict containment field. Interacting with them would ruin our studies.
Oh,
That's
I would hate to
not.
do that. How about the creature he's wrestling then?
Those species have been collected from other planes. Their benefits include magical resistances, reflective magical uses, and others in which we have already categorized and have kept them in hopes of domestication. However, that has not been successful. With the 11 gone and the singular one still in stasis, they have broken out with the frog moth's unfortunate desire to be freed.
Wait, they think they want to be free? They think? Dude, that's fucked up. You can't keep sentient people just locked up.
They are not redacted.
Oh, are they not sapient, but they are sentient? They have feelings, but they can't think? I get it. I get it.
Like dogs.
Exactly.
They are specimens collected from our travels, and fortunately, we have benefited from such information. Even though we do not have our leaders here, we, with the hive mind, have been able to progress.
Can I get a copy of the history of the people here? Or not people, the animals? I'd love
The
to read.
species list is long, however, we could provide such information based off of planes that have been considered unredacted for open research purposes.
Ooh, could you provide the reasoning for redactions? I assume it's automated.
I do not control what is Redacted. The hive mind is utilizing the influence of what was the 12's intelligence and preventing information from being loosely provided in the Anasari's potential demise. Self-preservation.
Don't worry, I'll ask him when I meet him. Or her. Or it. Is it more it?
Otto would be pleased to meet you if you could reach their facility, which is beyond the unfortunate Frogmoth encampment.
Okay, so we have to go down for that one.
Oh, is there any sort of mask or breathing device for the fumes?
The Anasari are immune to all such influences of the gases in which we use in the algae containers to provide a life source throughout the vessel. The
How
Frogmoth
about
has
for
broken it in order to gain benefit of the other creatures, as they seem to have been formed in a unique manipulation from such essences.
how about for guests? Or
The
is there any sort of
Ansari
defense?
do not host guests.
That's
Lonely.
unfortunate. I know.
We sentries are non-humanoid and do not or are affected by such influences. We also, for your information of potential betrayal, are less likely affected by your magical essence and properties in which one might use to influence and or harm us in any other factorable way.
Currently have no plans on hurting you guys.
We have
Yeah.
seen what you are capable of upon entry with our loose species. We will watch you carefully.
Is he saying he's watched us get our ass kicked repeatedly? Is that what he's
Yep.
saying? It sounds very
100%.
fucked up.
That's what you do in every parallel.
Just because I haven't won yet doesn't mean I'm not gonna win.
Winners stay winners by keeping secrets.
So, anyone not wanting to go down? And you should be full health now if you're not already.
I think we've checked out the whole floor. I'm good to go down too. I just need right before we go down, I'll activate the warding wind.
Okay.
Everyone needs to stay within 10 feet of me, I believe, if you want to be unaffected by the gas, which I think the Daliches are unaffected by.
Yeah, they live just fine. But the rest
We don't
are
breathe.
in condition. Yeah, they don't have to breathe, eat, or sleep.
So, just me and it's then?
And
He
shield.
is in Geo.
Yeah, but it will be centered around me.
mean-
Try not to let me get hit, by the way. It is a concentration spell.
So, when I can deflect missiles, got it.
I would appreciate it. I can recast the spell, but I do have only so many spell slots, and it lasts 10 minutes.
And this was the wind one?
Yes, it's called Warding Wind. It's a 2nd level spell. It keeps
have
out
much
vapor, gas, and fog. It's
So-
difficult terrain for creatures that aren't my allies.
So if we go down there, we have to be quick and not dally.
Yes, we'll need to go down there north to get Seg's computer chip. Or we could even try to fix the fog while we're down there, but it might lead to fighting. Like, have
Yeah, it was
Seg
past
mend
the
it.
frog people, right?
Not the frog. They're the... I think that's their name, but they're moths.
Yeah. But I mean, it's just past them, so they broke open, I think it was 2-3 containers. So we can go down there, fix that, and that should fix the fog issue.
Yeah, and then we won't need Warding Wind for an extended period of time. But it also
Which, I mean-
grants us benefits against ranged attacks, so that's good.
True, but we should focus on that, get that fixed, so we can actually explore.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so plan is go down there, fix the broken stuff, and do our best to clear out this fog so that it won't continuously murder us.
Yeah, first thing we need to do is help Webb capture his creature, though. He's been wrestling that for like 3 hours now.
I think that was an illusion from that room because it mentioned something about simulating creatures, and they probably could
He
leave
wasn't
that
in
room.
the sim room, was he?
No, but can the illusions leave the room?
Are you asking the
Fucking
bot or are you
holodeck
guys
episode.
theorizing?
Yeah, she was going to ask the bot because if they can leave the room, that leaves them an extra level of danger.
How do you word the question?
In your projections in that simulation room,
Training room?
yeah, simulate the firing range that was showing us the weapons test. Can anything like made in there leave it?
You are referring to our real live demonstration theoretical scenario situational room. To be very frank, any and all projections can be produced anywhere on the vessel in a full simulation. We have had many exercises in which a outbreak could occur and how we would respond in a very surreal environment, and many factors were placed. That simulation room is a single entity enclosure. The red lines prevent any and all things within from escaping, though it does not prevent us from refactoring them beyond such.
Oh, that's really important information, huh?
Very important. It means we're doomed no matter where we go.
It means we don't pick a fight with these people.
The
Or we break
Ansari
the
have
reactor.
placed in all procedures to prevent such knowledge from being easily acquired by hands in which are not entitled. Your identities have been checked in, and we understand your plane of existence and your originations. The Ansari may or may not have the abilities to go to such parallels.
They could send these projections to parallels too? Oh, that makes you like nervous.
I wonder if they're able to get
Concerning, actually.
when we were in the teleportation room, we were given a list. We were basically given a bunch of stats surrounding the multiversal serial code of FIN. Did we get a name?
No.
No? Okay.
No. So far, up to this point, I have never disclosed the responsibility, the party responsible for any and all causes beyond Iz's amnesia. Iz originally knew the problem at B, but he has yet to rediscover it through his recovery, we will say.
Oh, that's very accurate. It doesn't know shit.
And Shio knows from his like earlier check that Iz doesn't know about this place at all.
True.
Like he had no idea it was even here. Because if he was, I'm sure the Anasari would have come back a lot sooner with Iz's help.
Not just that, Tempos was a big factor, and he didn't. And I would tell you right now, he does not know about them. If him or Iz knew about them, they would have absolutely manipulated the scenario. And Tempos wouldn't be using magic to create half the things he's done.
That's for certain. I feel like he'd abandon magic immediately for technology.
And I believe I mentioned it to you guys, the Tempos family is the original Chronomages. They created the very essence of what Chronomage is.
Oh.
Yep. That has been told to us several times.
Mm-hmm.
Dang, I gotta ask him for the really cool time spells.
Well, I'm so disappointed because he's a time traveler. He should already have done the things that we asked him to do. And he
But
never
he was
does.
trapped. That's why.
Excuses.
That other party should hurry up and save him. Should we send help to the people who are trying to rescue Tempos? Send him a magic item or something?
Yeah, we probably should. But we have all the time in the world because it's time travel.
That's true. But if events have already happened, it's difficult.
I mean, what level are they?
The other groups? Ooh.
Yeah, because other groups are trying to save Tempos, right?
I mean, I could tell the team what Tempos needs. What they do with him is a whole nother thing. I I wouldn't go as far as to say anyone's trying to save him, but what I will tell you guys, just so we'll go ahead and hold the session here. And I'll give you guys some insight on the Tempos family. Tempos is the father of a character known as hold on. He's spacing. It's a Russian-based name or some shit like that. I'll get it back. I'll get that name for you guys. It was a real character, a real player at one point, who created this entire family timeline for me. And Wolfric, that was his name. Tempos is the father of Wolfric. Wolfric is a child in which appeared at Hollow in Van Quee in Leva. He appeared with vague information as to why he was abandoned and why he lost his mom and father, in which he traveled to understand. He understood his abilities as a chronomage. He understood what his father and mother accomplished, and he was the sole heir of the Tempos Timeworks company. And this is in the future. You guys met Tempos. You guys know Tempos prior to such existences. However, Wolfric is not the original son of Tempos. The actual Wolfric passed away because the Arbiter had shown up and killed him, and Tempos and the mother failed to save him. In their reprieve, Tempos did travel through many timelines, and he found one living Wolfric and saved him from the Arbiter, in which the Arbiter attempted to murder the entire the family line. In doing so, Tempos is the only person who knows who the Arbiter is and what they look like, in which no one ever inquired. Wolfric also knows who they are, in which the other team never inquired. Another member of that same team was a Time Knight from the very organization Wolfric created in Ender, prior to the state in which you guys found it in which Shio is now trying to revive. With that, Wolfric had a timepiece on him that was stolen by an individual that led the Lizardmen. The Hollow team, which was the original Wednesday campaign, Rising Power, not necessarily tracked down this guy, but they were working for him after he bitch slapped Wolfric in front of all of them and said, "You guys work for me now." And they realized that there was this huge power scale. As they grew in power, they re-encountered this individual and bitch slapped him back. Before killing him, they agreed to allow him to come to the team and became a disciple of theirs, bringing any and all of his remaining organization into their ranks. The Hollow Squad is an organization amongst the gangs that work at Hollow, amongst 9 other gangs that keep the city in cohesiveness. In a very rough council known as the Roghorn's Court. The Tempos family is the very factor in which why a particular device hidden below Hollow was discovered. Though Tempos and Wolfric had no hand in actually being involved, as it was Eric, who was a Time Knight, who understood any and all things from the future because he was from literally the future. It was a very well-kept secret across 76 sessions until I slipped and accidentally said it in a non-private chat. And everyone was like, "What the fuck?" Like, it was such a disaster that I was like, fuck, that's meta, guys. You're not allowed to know this. I totally fucked up on that. And then the player who played Eric, which is JP in our community, was like, damn, he was like, we kept the secret going for so long and then you dropped it on accident. But it was a very intense moment where there was a lot of information going on and they found a Hellfire weapon in which only the key was missing. And that was the release of the second Valkyr. You guys absorbed 1, which was considered the third. And then the Thursday group, 2 campaigns previously released, or actually 1 campaign previously released the first. With that, when Tempos went and found the single Wolfric living in Origin, which is one of the eras of Leva, he kept it a secret from him. And because of that, Wolfric didn't understand why his power didn't link with where he existed. So he was always out of place and out of time. Whenever he did things, he would fracture or flicker. He found his mom in a non-parallel essence during an incursion across a bridge with a shadow dragon that almost wiped the entire team. Wolfric gave himself up in order to make a deal with the dragon. course, the deal was very simple. Show up again and I'll fucking eat all of you guys. They did show up again, about a year later, without Wulfric, and they killed 3 of the kin of the dragon. So the dragon's really pissed right now. I'll make that very clear. If anyone ever passes that fucking crossing.
Is it me?
No. I mean, I don't know. I really don't know if it ends up being you. The team escaped only to be knocked out, only to have their entire boat destroyed by a kraken. If it wasn't for a goblin whose father worked in a glue factory and had tons of solvent glue, put together a bunch of pages on top of the ocean floor and created a portal to get them out in time, bringing them back to Hollow. They managed to secure the device in which they originally lost. Eric is the only person in possession of this device. This device does similar things in which you guys can do magically, but it does not use magic to do it. But it does predict the future and show him the future of all outcomes and the immediate right of their decisions. So when the question was verbed right, and Eric asked the specifics that were necessary, he knew exactly what the outcome would be no matter what dice were rolled. And that helped them, but also hindered them, because sometimes the question was asked incorrectly, or sometimes the innate purpose was not properly placed. You guys have crossed their paths twice. That was with Roly Goblicon, the DJ Goblin. However, that campaign has concluded. A new one is actually starting tomorrow, 3 years after the aftermath, and only one member of that party is still with the new group starting tomorrow. So there will be some interesting things to rise with the group now currently dubbed Emergence, but they can decide their own team name when they get there. And I will tell you guys this. They are starting their campaign working directly with the undisclosed Ansari that have been hidden all this time. And they are trying to root out a Dalkir invasion. And all of this absolutely plays in fact with your guys' campaign.
Oh yeah, I was going to say they should really just hire us. I'm sure we could help them find some Dalkir.
Oh no, the Dalkir are already released. There's no need to find them anymore.
Yeah.
The Dalkir are now playing their cards back on the world. And for them, their start of their campaign tomorrow, and they're aware of this already, I gave them tons of information of the Ansari, etc., is that the Dalkir have found the Rondom group, which you guys never met, but was a very, very lethal group of goblins in the Hazy Desert, and has given them shapeshifter abilities, in which they have used to infiltrate the city of Bramil. No one has ever gone to the city of Bramil, even though I have mentioned it through every single campaign. And I've always made it very clear that that is the one city that has refactored from any and all of the Warforged band to continue their research and such. They have secretly been led by the Ansari that have left this vessel. Now, this is all meta, but understanding of how it all connects. The 11 have been running Bramil, and it is a city that is worked off of what looks to be, from the outside eyes, steampunk engines and gas and elementals under control. And that is exactly what one would see, even if you guys went to go visit. But what's really happening is beyond just that, and it's being infiltrated by the Rondom and the Dalkir. Why? Is for them to discover, and for everyone else to hear about. But what you guys are discovering is when they first got here, and what their intentions are moving forward. You already know they're in your future, and you already know is that the Raven is on your side in the future. The question is what happens in between, and how did it get there? How's that all sound?
I mean, he's an employee, so he's implicitly trustworthy.
I mean,
in some sense,
his room is here apparently.
Well, he has a room. He's a very busy bird.
Oh, we're definitely visiting them. I want to see if we can improve Hector or something.
Gone.
We need more firepower.
It would be quite intriguing.
But the idea of a server-wide quest board where you could send like other parties after your missions that you need to do, that's interesting. Like we could put up like items.
1 million pounds of palladium.
We don't have that.
School.
We don't have that. Is
what? I used
just
to wait on the school. Oh wait, yeah, we're fine. I forgot.
I'm just waiting for my reflection to finish manifesting.